Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where I will ramble on for possibly the next 3+ hours. I think there's enough G.I. Joe news to actually talk about to get through there. And the topic is going to be Hooded Cobra Commander. And we're going to talk about whether or not this is the Hooded Cobra Commander you wanted, but we're also going to talk about the way some people act, whether or not it's the whole you said we will never get him, or the same people that want to stomp on the people that are happy that they got them, saying, I've already had my Hooded Cobra Commander. We've all seen it on social media and we see how people act, but we're going to talk and discuss this whole thing. And let me reassure every single one of you, um, it was handed down by the management above that they were not allowed to do Hooded Cobra Commander. I've even had people mention to me and reach out to me stating that you notice as soon as the team left, they make Hooded Cobra Commander. Is there any idiot here that actually thinks it takes 2 weeks to make a figure? Is there anyone that thinks like, oh my god, dude, the team left, now they've already course corrected and there's new figures literally being produced by a new designer? If so, some of you must think like cars get designed in like 2 weeks and then they're rolling off the assembly line like a week later. Come on, dude. Like, I think some of you know, I think most of you know, but I do realize some of you are too stupid to realize that figures take like 18 months from design to actual production. But anyway, we're going to talk about all that. But the Hooded Cobra Commander is a hot topic. It used to be one of those things when people would bring it up and I'd kind of lose my mind over it because you get sick and tired of hearing it, not wanting to answer it again, because everything that I have told you is the same thing that other people have told you. It wasn't like any inside information. But before we get to that, there's a lot more to talk about. Anyway, hope you guys all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I had an interesting weekend. Um, Olivia finished 11th grade, so she wanted to stay the night at one of her friend's house. And talking to Krusty Old Crow, and he was mentioning to me, obviously I know what he gets him and I talk about all the time. And he's like, why don't you just call over to the EB Games there in Canada and see if they have the despoiler? Now, I have an enhanced license. Many of you may not know what enhanced license is. An enhanced license means that I got the little star, so I'm able to fly, but I'm able to cross the border either way, by land or by sea, not by air, into Canada and back through. I've never used it. I've never used it. When I went to New York, I actually went around because I was like, I don't want to get stuck in customs. And finally, I said, you know what? Why not just do it? Why not just see if it works? Great. If not, if I get held up, I know not to do it. So Friday after work, I got off a little early because we have been super dead. I went home, had to drop off the work vehicle, headed over to Canada. It's less than an hour to get to EB Games from my house, and that's going through the tunnel, going through customs, go to EB Games, and sure enough, man, I had already called and had them put aside and picked up the Destro and the Despoiler. And the other thing that was actually pretty cool was they gave me a whole printout of the list of all the action figures they have coming that are already in the system for pre-order and everything. And one of the cool things is that, and Crow can attest to this, EB Games is the one I believe that has the contract with Hasbro that all the Hasbro Pulse stuff goes to them in Canada. But it seems like they get it a little bit earlier. But it's just another easy way. So people start asking, am I getting free stuff from Hasbro? Am I ordering it off eBay? Am I ordering it from China? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not saying I haven't done stuff like that where I have ordered from Return of the Nerd in the past. I stopped doing that. This is a more viable way because literally, again, I mentioned before, Canada is closer than Ohio. Literally, the EB Games is 20 minutes over the border. Well, 20 minutes from the border of Detroit, Michigan, to where I had to go. So I went over. I had been over in Canada in over 20 years before my kids were born. So it's been that long. I've had no reason to go over, and I gotta say, it was interesting because man, you think about Canada and their free health, and I saw literally 5 people strung out, passed out right on the side of the road. Um, a little bit further in that same road, like 2 people passed out, strung out hooker. I honestly got, and I'm like, I don't see this shit in Detroit. Was not expecting it. But anyway, that was my Friday. Saturday, did some running around, a little bit more work, had another board meeting. I had to wrap up these board meetings for the association. We had to finish up from our annual meeting. I talked to the president, and, we're discussing things, and I'm like, I'm gone for 2 weeks. And she was like, well, we can still do it over the phone, right? A meeting. I'm like, no, I'm not doing any board meeting on my vacation. Like, no, I don't even want to do any YouTube over it. Like, I've kind of discussed this, and Baldy's gone back and forth and arguing that he wants to do like a Circle of Jerks episode from Joe Fest. I'm like, no, like I'm not here to work. I'll do my walkthrough because it's early in the morning. It takes maybe an hour, and that's pretty much it. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But we got through that. And Sunday, Olivia and I went and saw Masters of the Universe. I don't care what it's made in the theater. I don't care. I've seen some Motu fans all over the place bitching about it. You're always going to get those people. I had a great time. I had an absolute blast with it. It did so much fan service. It was campy to a point that made sense, that it wasn't too much. I thought it worked really, really well. I know a lot of people saw it. I would say this. I want every single one of those Skeletors in action figure form. And tell me right now, guys, all the people that saw it, the moment you saw Mossman, did you not go, oh no, oh no? And then very quickly said, oh no, oh no. It was Mothman was interesting. I got to say that. So, but they did a wonderful fan service. And again, I know there's people that are probably gonna say they don't need it or they didn't like it. It was stupid. I've heard people say it's too campy. It was fun. That's what a movie like that is supposed to be. I am not going to most of these superhero movies expecting The Sixth Sense or expecting The Godfather. I'm going there to have fun, enjoy it, see flashbacks of what we had in the 80s mixed in this nostalgia. And I thought they did a wonderful, wonderful job. Better than a lot of companies do. Way better than the G.I. Joe movies that I've seen it. The cameos, the Easter eggs, all awesome. And, Darren, there's a reason why I did not say anything. So please, guys, no spoilers, because there are people that haven't been able to see it. So I don't want any spoilers. I'm just saying it was a lot of fun. And I would suggest going to see it if you haven't yet. So I have seen The Sixth Sense. And to this day, when the spoiler alert here, when the girl walks by him at the beginning behind him, I still get chills, and I get chills when she's in the tent with him and all this stuff's like dripping. Like that, it literally gives me chills. But yeah, and then I did some reviews, man. So like, I popped out some videos. I got some videos that are loaded for later on. because of kind of a big deal. I was able to secure some things for Joe Fest exclusives. You've probably seen some of the reels, some of the pictures that I put out. That's what we are allowed to do. But the reviews won't go up to the week of Joe Fest, and we'll talk about that in a short bit. So that was my weekend. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. And again, thank you guys. 52 people watching. Please hit the like button. Coming in here, giving me a little bit of your time, hoping it makes your the end of your first workday a little bit easier because we got 4 more days. We got well, I'm gonna say 17 days, but really it's 16 days till Joe Fest, right? Ed, it's 16 as soon as this show ends. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited. And as one person said to me, not G.I. Jetman clothes already packed excited, but pretty fucking excited. Joe Fest is so close. And again, I have a vacation right after it. So it's literally 2 weeks off. I haven't had 2 weeks off since I was unemployed. And I've been at the same job for 20 years in October. So you can imagine it's been a long time, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see my friends again. I'm ready to hang out with people and just have a blast. But let's get into it. Let's say hi to everyone. Again, there are 50 people watching right now, which it still shocks me that this little old show started, 4 years ago. This is season 4, and people are still tuning in, and it's grown. And thank you to all of you. So quickly, we have Krusty Old Crow saying Happy Monday, fools. We have Quickstar jumping in saying good day from this side of the planet. Snow Wolf. We have Blue Bar Nella. We have 3-star Draw jumping in saying what's up, Punkos. Oh, that may be a different show. We have Mr. Wonderful. We have Mamu Nestor, one of my moderators, jumping in with his. And why so late? Well, I always run a little late when you're doing a show by yourself, but I realized that I forgot to put the inputs in for the 3 G.I. Joes that they showed up that go up on sale on Wednesday. So I had to add those to the slides and then delete the old slides and put those ones on. That's why I was running so late. We have Menhuza. David R. is here. We have Beardy McBeardus, and we have Cooking with Eric. We have Stephen K. We have Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. Derek Holloman. Here is my other moderator, Ed, saying Rambling Time. What's up, everyone? We have Callister, or Cal Shave, as he was once known till YouTube screwed everything up. MCR Maza is here. We have Steve Curb Stomp Martin saying good evening, punks and peoples. We have Tony's Figs. Okay, you guys are starting to say congratulations to Olivia. She is not here. I didn't know when we started congratulating kids for doing what they're supposed to. Now, if you saw her curriculum, you might congratulate her. She has, I think, a 3.998, but she's shooting for that 4.0 so she can be summa cum laude. I don't know what it is. I never came close to it. But that's what she wants, and I hope for her she does get it. 80s Joe saying, yo, Joe, Pumpkin Chat, great place to hang out on Monday night. Thank you very much. Frank Domunia. We have Evil Dookie, who I'm looking forward to seeing at Joe Fest. We have G.I. Jetman, and I know there's got to be a few other people here as I just kind of scroll down. Beardy McBurst says, it does, and you can call the store and pre-order to them. You just have to pick it up and pay when it arrives. That's what okay, so you're talking about the EB Games. I do have to contact them about that. There's one thing I didn't even ask, and I did talk to Crow about it. I don't want to pre-order something and then know that I'm going to get it quicker from Amazon. It's going to screw them over. So I do have to look at that, but that's probably what I'm going to be doing. I mean, it's so damn close, and I probably should have been doing it earlier, but hey, it is what it is. I'm doing pretty well on YouTube, so you're not going to hear complaints out of me. We have U.S. Combat Dojo jumping in here. And let's see here. We have a Render Boy saying, "What's up, punk?" Let's see here. We have M. Hatfield. We have Dan Olton said, "Did Mossman live up to the legend you built up on your show?" I'll just say, oh no. I just leave it at that. You got to see it. When you see Mossman, you're going to start talking in the voice, and then you're going to be like, oh no. Shelf Presence saying, "Motu was a lot of fun. It was a live action cartoon. Exactly what I hoped for." You're right, but it didn't feel that campiness. If you go back and watch the cartoon is really hard to watch. It's easy for us to watch because we grew up on it. But I remember trying to get my kids to watch it, and they were like, "This is so bad." And you're like, "Yeah. I'm not going to be mad if you're like, I'm not watching this." We have Graph saying, "Motu is live. Glad the #1 source of Motu on the internet liked it." We have Crash jumping in here with say member for 33 months saying sup punk, so you get a
fucking Phil Collins.
All right. I already said hi to Frank DeMunia. I think we're pretty close here. We have the Same Time Toys, Shane jumping in. Is there anyone else? I bet there's more, as I've been way up for quite some time. I know here was Ed saying hell yeah when I was talking about Joe Fest and just how close we are. And then we can all start just waiting for the next one I'm already ready for Joe Fest, the 10th anniversary, which is next year. And we haven't even got to Joe Fest number 9. Bobby Wald saying, "You should totally set up a table at Joe Fest. I can make AI oil paintings of you similar to what you see in a novel of an author for your table." I don't want to be there. I need to be walking around, man. Like, I see the guys from like podcasts from the pit, they get like a table. I don't know what I would do at a table, but sit there. Like, no one is that interested in seeing me. I would rather be walking around and bump into people that way. Also, if you have a table, people know where they can definitely come find you. And when you're trying to avoid people, not that I would ever try and avoid anyone. Viper Scout is here. We have Clint Jorgensen saying, "Everyone at my Motu showing was listening to Punk 2. Good for them. We have Chaz the Guru jumping in. How are you doing, Chaz? Look at this. We have Tesla Superstation. Haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you back. And I think we're close to the bottom here. I think so. NorCal Voodoo, who's been all over the internet, all over the YouTube doing stuff, saying, "What's up, Figure Junkies and Punk? Hope everyone is fantastic tonight. I'm doing well. Only 4 more days of work. And then there's only 1 full week until the short week of Joe Fest. I'm not excited." Russell the Muse saying, yeah, them 80s cartoons are kind of rough. 6 out of 10. I don't even know if I'd give them that. Like, I still think Transformers are probably the best of those ones that we watched. G.I. Joe's pretty campy, but you can watch it. Motu is, when you really watch it, it is bad. I mean, I loved it, and I can watch it now. But when you really sit down and if you ask a kid to watch it, you'd be like, yeah, you have every right to just want to leave. Todd C says, you don't want to do a live from the show. No. First off, I don't think it would work. I think it would be a pain in the ass. There's already going to be most of the people. Now, there's already be a lot of people that watch the Circle of Jerks at the show. So how does that work? I'm glad my camera decided that it's not going to focus right now. I'm not saying I won't do it if Baldy can find a way to do it, but it's taken away from the time that I have there to spend with friends that I get to see once a year. So, and it's not like it lands on a day we do the show or anything. Shelf President says, yeah, I'm going to be kind of disappointed that they may not get a sequel, which will be unfortunate because it is a really good, fun movie. Those after credits are truly great teases. Remember, Amazon does own it, and the thing that I had heard that if they don't put it in the movie theater, there would be a good chance they would just put it directly to Amazon as an Amazon movie. I hope so, because I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Matthew says, I can't rewatch the original He-Man. I can watch the original G.I. Joe cartoon all day. Again, I can't sit down and watch it. If it's on, I can watch a little bit. I will say this. I watched the G.I. Joe cartoon movie the other day. Dude, that thing is so bad. Like, I stand by what I said. Cobra Law was so stupid. That movie is awful. I'm glad I didn't go see it in the movies. Though I'd go see the Transformers, the movie, in a heartbeat. I could watch that over and over and over. But anyway, what is the Viper Scout saying? Robotech and Disney Afternoon are pretty rewatchable. Okay. All right. So anyway, said hi to everyone. Thank you guys all for tuning in. As I kind of mentioned, there were some reviews that went out. Then we can jump back to last Tuesday when I think it was last Tuesday, the Punisher Hulkbuster. Now, I had no intention of buying that thing. I truly was like, yeah, cool for anyone that wants it. And then I saw the blast effects, and the blast effects literally sold me. I love how they're just kind of shooting all over the place. And I said that in my review, and I think at least two people, Woody being one of them, said the exact same thing. Yeah, the blast effects sold me. Once again, proving that little things like that will kind of sway us one way. But I'm not going to regret it because I've had some fun taking some pictures with it. I have so much stuff going on in my life, whether it be through my kids, the association that I'm doing, the other YouTube stuff that I'm constantly doing. I have a hard time getting through everything and just having time to just enjoy. That's kind of why I don't want to do anything at Joe Fest, man. I just want to go there, enjoy that, and enjoy going to Florida and all that other stuff. So I haven't had enough time to do as much as I want. And this is the one thing. I don't do great pictures, and I keep mentioning that. And I do the shorts. If you're following, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I got monetized. That's why I'm putting out these shorts and everything. And they're just little reels of me setting stuff up. It takes so long to set everything up and then put it back in my display because unlike a lot of people, and I think Ed is kind of like this, they don't really have a display of stuff. They have stuff in their boxes. They take it out and they do the pictures. All my stuff goes back in a display. And once too much stuff comes out, the display is just kind of a total mess. And it takes as much time to take it out, repost things, take the pictures, and then put it back up. It's such a pain in the ass. But that, like those 40-second little reels that I've been putting on Facebook, along with some of the pictures that you might see, like that is seriously an hour's worth of work. And again, you guys don't care. It's just like, I start looking at the time and I'm like, there's just not enough time in the day for me to get everything done that I would love to get done. And again, I need an extra 3 to 4 hours in the day, but not 3 to 4 hours in the day of actual work. I don't want work. I just want free time. That's probably why I don't sleep very often. Again, I will sleep when I'm dead, right? We'll all get to sleep enough when we're dead. So, 4 hours of sleep is fine by me as long as until it catches up, and then I crash at like 9 p.m. and I wake up for work the next day like holy shit. But I would like to play with that and some of the other figures a little bit more. I talked about going to Canada. Now, one of the other reasons why I want to give that to spoiler is a lot of the stuff that is supposed to be coming out from from Joe. From G.I. Joe, from Classified, is actually supposed to hit while we are when we're in Joe Fest or while I'm in Florida. And the last thing I really want to do is come home to a pile of boxes for me to review or just sort through when I get back and you're sorting through everything else. So I was like, well, if I can get this spoiler out of the way, it's great. And again, it's doing well. So I'm happy. I'm happy for crossing the border and doing all that other good stuff. And now I know that I can just kind of cross the border. And if I have to go back to New York, shoot on over there and make it pretty quickly. So I did put that video up. And then this was the interesting one. Quickly, let's say Ed says we're not working at Joe Fest except working on having the best weekend ever. We don't have to work at it being the best weekend like that. Like we don't have to work at it. It fucking happens because it is awesome. Todd CS, are we getting leaks tomorrow? What's coming out? We'll probably get leaks tomorrow. Well, we already know what's going up. So what's going up tomorrow is Action Man. I'm sorry, on Wednesday, Action Man, Hal, and the Clutch, Pan Clutch, and Vamp. That is what is going up on Wednesday. They'll probably drop the renders of the Snow Patrol, the Snow Guy, and then Dusty and Sandstorm. So probably see digital renders of those. And then you'll get the leaks or the name only or they get the digital renders of what's going to come up the following week. That's how they've been doing it. Devil Dog, you're jumping in here saying, what's up, Punk and chat? All right, so yesterday in the Marvel Legends group, people start posting Professor Hulk and that it is showing up at Meijer in Michigan. And I was like, I asked what Meijer. Someone told me it's not the Meijer by me. And then other people were like, yep, I found it at my Meijer too. So I said to Olivia, I said, well, on your way home, on the way driving you back to your mom's, we're going to stop at Meijer. Now, Meijer, people that don't have Meijer, they're in the Midwest, they're based out of Michigan. It's like a Target, more, I would say more like a Walmart, but a split between the two of them. They used to be 24 hours, and the pandemic hit, and then they stopped being 24 hours. They don't get a lot of stuff. They did get the Snake Eyes classified figures before anyone else, so there was that. But I stopped at the Walmart or at the Meijer there, and they're redesigning the whole thing, completely redoing it, which sucks. And they didn't have them in the toy section, but I just count, let's go to the collectible section. I don't think it's there. They moved the whole collectibles because they moved the electronics and everything, and they had a lot of the Marvel Legends stuff, and there was either 3 or 4 of them. I think there was 4. I think I left 3 there. I only bought 1, so I either left 2 or 3 there. I forget. But it's not anywhere. It's not even supposed to be out to August 1st, is what Amazon says. And I got it, came home, did the review, and Olivia was like, you should put it out as soon as you're done. And I was like, should I? And I did, and it's done well. And I've had some people, at least one person, mad at me about what I said. And again, we're going to talk about that before we get into the slides and the actual toy news. So, and extra creepy is saying Walmart is slightly less wild. I don't know. Meijer is, in my opinion, it is lesser than Target. It is better than the people that go to Walmart. But you do get some pretty creepy, weird guys. Devil Dog says, if they do go up for pre-sale Wednesday, can you all please leave one for me? I'll be in court all day, and I'll be pissed if I miss Grand Slam in the Hell. Well, you're probably going to be pissed because they are Pulse. Everything that's going up on Wednesday is Pulse exclusive. So I have a feeling that Hal and Grand Slam are going to sell out along with the Tan Clutch and Vamp Mark II. So I doubt someone's going to leave you one. But you can always go to Canada and get one from EV Games. Wreckship 85 saying ahoy. Great to have you here. But anyway, so I put up those 3 reviews. Now, the other thing that I kind of mentioned was Delta 17. They have 2 Joe Fest exclusives coming. One is the Skystorm, which is a repainted Hailstorm. It's been all over. It is VAC metal. I'm sorry. It's VAC metal. And I am not a VAC metal guy. Like, I don't need everything, but it looks sharp. It looks sharp taking it outside. It is shiny. And then they have the Desert 2-pack of Shepherd and Jaguar. So I did get those. And I will reiterate, I'm kind of part of their social media influencer team, I guess you could say. So those will be going up. Like, those reviews will be going up before Joe Fest. But I am allowed to post pictures, reels, shorts, different things like that. So you will see more of those coming leading up to Joe Fest for sure. But I'm telling you right now, if you the Hailstorm, like, I put the 3 of them together and I did a picture and a little reel. I want a red one. I want every single Hailstorm / Skystorm or whatever they want to call them. I just want an army of them. I don't want the same color. I just want an army of them. They look so cool in like a line just coming down the road. A lot of fun. So you will see more shorts, more pictures of that type of stuff. All right. Big shout out, big thank you to Delta 17 for the drive to Joe Fest last Thursday. I had Steve and Ken from Delta 17. They are the 2 primary people. And then we also had Emerald Knight, John on, and then we had Wilhelm Toys. They also joined me because they are both working the booth. Now, if you didn't watch it, if you didn't watch that episode, I'm going to tell you, go back and watch that episode. Technically, you need to go back and watch Podcasts from the Pit. So on Podcasts from the Pit, there was this one guy, Max, who said that he thought that Wreckship was Ken at Joe Fest. And I was like, you thought a short little Canadian was Wreckship. I can see how you confused those 2. Then again, be different if you never saw Ken, but like, all you have to do is watch his videos, and he's in his videos. Wreckship looks nothing like him. So I put it on the thumbnail. You will see when I have Toy Connections, I'm with Wreckship. And then Wreckship was actually the first one to notice. And he messages me and he's like, that's awesome. I'm like, hey, I have an idea if you're down for it. And he's like, you want me to come on as Ken? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. So he came on as Ken. They had no idea. It quickly turned out, and I noticed right away, the 3 guys on stage had no clue what the story was. I don't know how many other people knew. I know Ken knew because I believe Shark Eyes actually told him. But I had a lot of fun, and it was amusing to do. So thank you to Wreckship for doing that. A lot of fun. All right. So no, they will not be available on BBT. So let me express the three stuff going up to or on Wednesday, from my understanding, are Pulse exclusives only. All right, only. That means only available there, unless if you live in a different country where you don't have Pulse, or you only live in a different country, or you can cross the border. That's what I'm saying. Lego Star Wars Kid jumping in here. Vamp Mark II is what it's going to be. We have Matt O'Brien saying happy Monday night. Punk and crew, I'm here in silence as I'm still working, but happy to be able to make it tonight. Hope you enjoyed my collection I sent you last night. Once again. Wait, did you send it to me? I told you where to send it, and I just checked I didn't see it come over. So maybe it went to the spam folder, so don't resend it yet. I will double check and see. All right. So that was last Thursday. Now we only have 2 more Drive to Joe Fest. Only 2 more, which means less than 3 weeks for Joe Fest. I am happier than that kid that thinks he's getting the aircraft carrier for Christmas. That's that kid too. Actually, I didn't really think I was getting the aircraft carrier. Believe it or not, I had really no idea. I didn't think that I was getting it. So, but this week I have the Backyard Battlefield on, so I will have 3-star Draw, Krusty O'Crow, and Pop Blender. They will all be joining me to talk about the Drive to Joe Fest, what it means to them, why they feel this is the one show that they have to go to every single year. And then we'll talk about our past experiences. And once again, we all went in 24. That was all our first convention. That was all our first Joe Fest convention. Crow did not make it last year. I know Pop and obviously Darren both did, as I spent time with them. But we're going to talk about that whole thing, the same thing that's been going on. And then, as you guys know, the final Drive to Joe Fest will be the guys from Circle of Jerks, the ones of us that are going. And that's where it will end because I can't wait. So that will be this Thursday. Tomorrow we have Circle of Jerks. And then we do have on Wednesday Goodwill missions to talk about all the stuff G.I. Joe. Now, I feel like a lot of it's redundant. A lot of it is redundant. I will say this: you won't get any clickbait from us. There is, before anyone even asks, listen, the Mauler, it is not a HasLab. It is not a made to order. There is nothing about it. I don't understand why a Toy Kind of Mood did the clickbait on it. They did. I've seen people asking about it, saying, wait, there's more rumors. No. There is no Mauler on the horizon that has even been linked. So to anyone that watched that, and I've talked about this with a few people, and I've heard other YouTubers have to also address it. There is no made to order Mauler coming. That is not what the made to order is going to be. All right. That's not the made to order this year at all. All right. So there's that. But tomorrow, I'll let Zen kind of decide if he wants to say who we might be having on tomorrow. So I would just say tune in tomorrow, Circle of Jerks, because again, I kind of have to go by what Zen kind of tells us because we don't fully know. Half the time we're just as surprised as anyone else. I won't be doing Punk's Pit this Friday. I was going to do it every the second. I'm all intention of doing it the following week, leading into Joe Fest. I don't know why, because I just remembered that I'm also doing something on Sunday with Ed and Travis. So I'm probably going to regret that by the time it comes, but I got to wrap some other stuff up, and it's just a busy week. So I'm like, I cannot do Punk's Pit. There's so much going on. This whole special, Goodwill missions is it's adding to everything that I have going on. So, I know, and my life plans got in the way. My life plans of needing a little bit of time. So I'm just gonna say, I am planning on doing it the following one. So anyway, I'm not saying, did I say it twice on purpose? I totally forgot what I said. Carol is here. Great to see you. And what is this here? I saw Viper Scout saying Thunder. I did not say that there was any made to order thunder like that. I also did not say that. We'll just leave it at that. Um, let's see here. We have Billy Boy's Toy jumping in. Hey, Punk. Hello, chat. I hope you're all doing well and having a great Monday evening. Hey, you know what? I'm above the ground, right? We are above the ground, and that's what matters. All right. Okay. I'm one of the guys with Circle of Jerks. And Tony can attest to this. I think he's still in here. That can attest to this. That I have told these guys numerous times, like, hey, we gotta stop attacking people on Facebook. As much as I would love to attack the dumbasses, and there are many, many dumbasses that don't know shit, that act like they know stuff. We can't always attack someone. It just we're a growing brand. And there's many times that I've wanted to say something to somebody, but I don't, and then I will answer them politely, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I love your show. I love your reviews," and I'm like, "Well, that's good that I didn't attack them." But when you start off super rude to me in the comments of my own YouTube, then I don't feel that way. I have no issues calling you out or coming back. And again, I won't get into a tussle back and forth. It serves no purpose. But if you're going to say something that is extremely rude to me on my own video, which you don't have to watch, you literally can just scroll. And I have no problem with people that disagree with me. Disagreeing is perfectly fine, right? Disagree with me all you want. You're going to be rude to me. You can probably bet not only will I be rude to you, there's a good chance that I might bring it up on a live show. And you might want to check and see how many live shows that I do and exactly how popular they might be. Well, I had one person that I didn't see. And so I answered all these questions on my Ninjas Artan. And he said, "No disrespect." I'm not reading this. So this is just from my memory. "No disrespect." Now, let me preface this by saying no sentence, no paragraph has ever been started with "no disrespect" and you didn't disrespect someone. Never has someone said, "I'm not racist, but," and not said something racist. "I'm not sexist, but," believe me, you're about to say something sexist. "No disrespect, but," ... Do you get these figures free from Hasbro? And this is why you shill so hard to the sheep. Which I just responded, "No, asshole." Again, you're going to be disrespectful to me. I have no issues being disrespectful directly back to you. Now, that was only found as I was going through all these comments. And believe me, between the despoiler and then what turned out to be Professor Hulk, there was a lot of comments. So I don't know how I missed a lot of the spoiler ones too. But on the Professor Hulk, I had someone leave a comment complaining about my review and about me complaining that the head doesn't swap with Maximum Hulk, nor do the hands. Now, I distinctly remember them pointing out this is the same Pantone green, so you can swap the heads with Maximum Hulk. I swear I heard that. Maybe I'm wrong, but someone can tell me. But he said, he said, it bothers me, these reviewers that are complaining about this. This is supposed to be from the comic. They said, like, this is supposed to be from the comic. Comic is a specific, both these characters are specific characters. And it shows me, again, how many people don't read the comic. And I responded in the sense of just saying, once again, show me how you don't have any imagination, and also tell me you're not a gatekeeper without saying you're a gatekeeper. because you're gatekeeping, saying you shouldn't be allowed to do this because this is from a specific comic book. Well, I don't read the comics. He was right about that. I didn't know that I need to read the comics to collect the action figures. And just because they make a specific character out of the comic, why wouldn't you make it so I can swap heads and I can do different photography? They made it abundantly clear that Punisher Hulkbuster, that head is going to swap between the two latest Punishers, and I'm not talking about the MCU ones, but the two latest Punishers, right? So if you're going to be rude to me, believe me, I'm going to come back. And he has responded a few times, and I think Spec has actually responded to him. I don't have any reason to continue to go back and forth. But that was total gatekeeping. First off, you're telling us, basically you're saying how you're better than us, and I don't know why you're doing this because you read the comics and I didn't. Hey, I'll be upfront and honest. I didn't read the comics. I enjoy the action figures. Doesn't mean I have to read all the comics. I haven't read all the G.I. Joe comic books, but I enjoy the G.I. Joe toy. I always have. If they changed every single arm on the O-ring so you couldn't interchange them, it would kind of suck, wouldn't it? This is all about customizing if you want. You don't have to. But if you're that mad because somebody is swapping out the heads between, Maximum Hulk and, Professor Hulk, that's on you. That's seriously on you, not me or anyone else. So, again, if you're going to say rude comments, and again, I know a lot of people now will say rude comments trying to be funny, you know when people are being dicks. But if you start something with no disrespect, I already know what you're about to do. You're about to disrespect everything that I've done. And that's fine. I have no issues going back and forth, and we can disagree. But when you're a dick about it, believe me, I'm going to be a dick back. And I think most people realize I have a big enough audience that I can be a bigger dick than most people. I'm tiny. Anyway, David Jones has joined us. Matthew wants to say, screw your life. The channel is all that matters. You must sacrifice everything for the channel and your shilling. Just believe, yeah, I think you know how much I sacrifice for this channel. Lunchbox Killer jumping in saying, hey, APWT and chat. Matthew is saying, never argue with idiots, but sometimes it's fun. And that's just it. I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm going to give my opinion back, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Because you know what? It's going to burn you, Matt. It's going to burn that person wanting a response from me, and I have nothing. I said what I needed to say. You started off. And again, I'm not saying I've never done anything like that. Believe me, I've been there. That's why I know how people are. But I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to tell you, oh, hey, you know what? Thank you for telling me how you know more than me. You're smarter than me. You're better than me. Good for you. I'm going to continue with my channel, which is doing pretty well for being a toy tube channel. 610 Yojo Daddy saying, what's up, punk? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Super excited for Joe Fest. Are you excited that the next G.I. Joe pre-orders are on 610? Dude, am I the first one that said that to you? But I heard someone on another I heard your name said on another live stream, and he kept saying 610. And I laughed, and I'm like, has no one realized that is also when the pre-orders go up? So, I know no one cares. Viper Scout says, my friend's cousin's roommate sister told me we're getting a made-to-order Shark 9000 with cutter before the web. Okay, that is what I have that, and I had it from when I was a kid. I bought it. I obviously wasn't a kid when I bought it. Okay, I like that. I have no issues with that at all. Matt O'Brien says, I disagree with you about Super 7. I actually think they produce pretty crappy Joe products. I don't know how you disagree with me then. Did you mean you agree with me? I know you're trying to be funny, but all right. We have Gun Bunny Customs jumping in saying, what's up, Gun Bunny, are you coming to Joe Fest? I know you were at DFW, but are you coming to Joe Fest? Are you gonna be sneaky and jump in and like surprise everyone without us knowing. King Panther saying Punk, one of the most humble, honest brothers on YouTube. Best classified and Marvel Legends reviews. Be a part of the awesome community. Hit that subscribe button, ladies and gents. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I don't care what anyone says. I thought Battle Cat was really, really, really fucking cool in Masters of the Universe. Eva Doogie says gatekeepers can suck a fat one. I hate that shit in all respect of life. And again, like if the comment would have been, hey, I don't have an issue with them not being able to swap the arms and the head because that Professor Hulk is a specific character and I don't need it to change anything else, then that's fine. That's your opinion, right? I think that is a miss, a complete miss, by not allowing it to be those parts be swappable. But you can say whatever you want. I've said the same thing about the classified line. Why are these heads not swappable? And it's different if the neck is too long and it just doesn't work. Okay, but I should still have the chance to do it. Almost every other 6 inches line, it's universal. And so if I bought skateboard wheels and this company is like, well, we want you to buy our bearings, so we're going to change, the diameter of the bearing so you can only buy ours, I'm going to be pissed off and I'm not going to buy those wheels. So I understand what people, are complaining, and people want to see that too. That's the reason why I put it in there. People wanted to see that. But anyway, Sci-Fi George says, as someone who's been reading comics since the mid-70s, you're good, Lawrence. You admit that you're not a big comic book guy. Plus, I think all similar sized bodies should be interchangeable. Yeah, like again, you want to create your own new Hulk. What, like, you're like, hey, I think this face sculpt is awesome. I think it would look cool on Maximum Hulk. Or I like that. Like, there's no reason not to. I mean, I think most people would agree with it, but as we know, not everyone does. Jay Solowar saying, just grab the Mattel DC Kids toys, and I'm surprised by the scale, impressed by the value. If you haven't checked out Toy Optics review on it, I know he did one. He's really impressed. I gotta say, the sculpt is nice. And if that's what their collectibles line is going to be doing, I think we're all going to be really, really happy. And then we have Wolverine Schnicked in saying, what's up? And quickly, he donated 5 Punk memberships. So you're going to get the...
Welcome to the Creamery. Welcome to the Creamery.
I can't do that 5 times.
Welcome to the Creamery.
Maybe I can.
Welcome to the Creamery. Welcome to the Creamery.
And quickly, I can say here, Yojo Daddy got it, Gun Bunny Customs, Billy Boys Toys, Lunchbox Killer, and G.I. Jetman. And I'm happy to say that it is all people that are here right now or have recently been here. Last time, there was a few that got thrown in there that I hadn't even heard of before. So I like to see people that are actually getting it, that are enjoying it. And I will do a Punk's Pit next week, so you guys can all tune into that and just kind of hear us. Usually there's 6, 7, 8 of us ramble on about all different things, and we get away from the toys, we'll say that. And then Matt O'Brien gifted another 5 Punk memberships, so you're going to get the...
Welcome to the Creamery. And
that is Tac Tac Toys, E-Wraith, Smudge Customs, James Lucas, and Stephen K. I always want to say Stephen. It's Stephen K, I believe. So anyway, thank you very much, Matt O'Brien. Scott Not Bob. If all figures are swappable, then Hasbro can't sell different painted only bodies with a new head sculpt. But I specifically remember them saying something about it being the same color so you can swap the heads. And once again, I go back to the Punisher. They were showing how these Punisher heads are swappable, and how the one that came with Nick Fury, those Punisher heads can swap with the ones that came with the other guy. I can't think of his name. And then how the one with the Hulkbuster can, like, these are supposed to be interchangeable. I don't think it's a big deal, and they can still resell stuff. That's not the point. The head sculpts are the things that they usually make different throughout the line. But I think, again, it's just one of those things. And when you do the same Pantone color, that's because you're like, hey, you can swap these. But they didn't, for whatever reason. I don't know if it was an oversight, if they did it. I don't believe that they did it on purpose, but it is a huge oversight, and it is a miss, and someone said, I don't know if it was that. I think it was that guy saying this was a miss because of this one thing. I didn't say the whole figure was a miss. I said it was a miss for that. That was a miss on their part, no doubt about it. And Matt O'Brien says the head should be able to be swapped. I tried putting the Legacy Police heads on the retro green shirt in order to add variety. The different peg size, dumb. And the classified team's been all over the fucking place with that. That's probably been one of the most frustrating things. People give Hasbro well-earned grief for the Tony Stark head on the Hulkbuster not fitting on the Iron Man figure. Someone else in the comments mentioned that one too. And I don't know what they're talking about because I don't collect those and I don't have them. But somebody else brought that up too. That the Hulkbuster with Tony Stark head doesn't fit, and they were like, this, it sucked. So, yeah, and Classify's been all over, and I believe they're all shored up now. They're all the same peg size, but it doesn't change the fact of how many awesome head sculpts do we have that you can't make universal, and sometimes between the same army builder, which is crazy. But yeah. Okay, so 610 says, I am absolutely excited. The other day, Chris McLeod said the date of the next stream, and I thought I haven't even said that in the chat. Love Motu and Battle Cat. Yes. And Payne's Toy Sample jumping in here saying, hey kids, great to see you. All right. So anyway, you guys know where to get the merch. You can get shirts like this. You can get the Joe Fest exclusive shirt. Again, that will only be available till I get back from Disney World. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, there is a link on the page somewhere. You can go click on it, head on over there, purchase some merch. I would love to see the shirts. We can take pictures together, post it on social media. I'm just gonna, pat myself on the back. Oh, here's another thing. I will have 18 of the crates. I don't have any crates around. Oh, here they are. I will have 18 of the Punkler toy crates at Joe Fest. All right. So if you are interested, they are going to be available. There are two different versions. There's the ones with the gun racks in it. They don't come with guns. The racks do come out. And then there's also the ones you can watch the videos that they will slide out. Radnam has said he will also put these back up until I get back from Florida. So if you are interested, these will be going back up for a short bit, but then I think they're done. Then I think they are completely done until we do something different. So please, if you are interested, they're $18. That's how much they're going to be. Again, before someone says, why can't you just give them to me? Again, these are from Radnam. I'm not getting anything out of this. I have to pay him for them. But if anyone wants them, and if you're not going to be at Joe Fest, or hey, you know what, you just want to get it afterwards, have run out of them, if we sell them all, you can go back on there. But you'll be able to see them. I will make sure I keep at least one or two. Well, I can have my own. Keep them at least until Sunday. So anyone that wants to see what it is, if they want to order them, they can. I mean, you're there at Joe Fest to spend money. Spend some money on something cool like this, and support a creator that's creating his own stuff. All right. And Payne's Choice Sample says 83 watching, 60 likes. Math ain't mathin'. I will never understand that at all. Wait, you'll trade me a stinger? You mean the stinger I sent you? MC Master said, "Are you going to the Star Wars Disney thing?" I'm going to Hollywood Studios on Tuesday, and you may see an appearance from Hollywood Studios on Circle of Jerks. That I might do with Olivia, just so you know. That might happen. But yeah, MTC Collects jumping in here saying, "Hey, all right. So the merchandise, you guys know where to get it. There are links down below. Again, these things will be back up. I will have 18 of them at Joe Fest. So if you are interested, hit me up. I will have my stickers and all that other good stuff. I think I mentioned that numerous times. Again, you guys know all the affiliates. When something from Amazon goes out, I will post it. And if you're interested, it helps out. It helps support the channel, as we've said numerous times. But now it's time to get into a little bit of talk. We will be talking about, in the topic, Hooded Cobra Commander. Now, quickly, the poll here, which has 79 votes, 59 people said, hell yes, they're excited. Not even close, 19%. I already have one. This is really kind of what got me going and watching the people, try and stomp on everyone's happiness. And we're going to talk about it. I'm not saying I've never done it before, because I have been guilty of trying to ruin someone's happiness, because I don't know, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes I'm just a miserable son of a bitch. But the truth is, there's a lot of people trying to ruin people's happiness. But we're going to talk all about Hooded Cobra Commander. But there's a lot to talk about, because we have the Marvel Legends stream. We have a lot of G.I. Joe stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. But before we do, I need to take a quick breather, so you know what that means, if I can ever find it.
And now back to Cobra News Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have received word that our field correspondent, Scrap Iron, is on scene at Mars Industries, and he has interviewed a few eyewitnesses and forwarded those statements over to us as he tries to get closer for a better vantage point on the fire. So let's take a listen to these eyewitness statements and see if we can discover what has happened here tonight.
All right, so I'm out here just ripping this mini ramp that's made by Mars Industries. Don't ask, I don't understand why they sponsored it. But anyway, I hear this huge explosion, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming that this thing's on fire, and they tell me to call 911, so I call 911. We got the ESU police here, and we got the firefighters, and wait a minute, don't you work for Mars Industry and the Iron Grenadiers too?
Oh yeah, that's a wicked fire, eh? Good bonfire for burning the moose on. Kind of reminds me, it reminds me of the one that we did at Justin Bieber every year at Stratford Festival. Just as much smoke, big flame. We do that to keep Sasquatch away. What'd you do yours for, eh?
Yeah, how you doing? I was walking down the street, hanging out, minding my own business. About to sit down on the park bench here and just enjoy my meal here. I got a nice little delicious lunch made by my wife, my lovely wife. She's a great cook. Sometimes not the best, but listen, we all suffice, right? And I'm sitting here on the bench about to open up my lunch box after a long day of working with construction workers. If you haven't noticed, I got this hard hat on, right? And I'm sitting here chilling, and next thing you know, I smell burning. And I go, what is that? And then the explosion, the loud, boom! Oh, what the hell was that? What's going on? You sound like Aaron Judge cracked a home run. I'm freaking out. I look up, and Mars Industries is on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? The building just blew up. It's on fire now. And no one can have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Next thing you know, the fire shows up. The cops show up. Nobody knows what's going on. But damn things for sure, that building blew up. Now listen, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this. The owner of that building, he wears a metal helmet. Who's wearing a metal helmet? Just to do business. Something don't smell right. You understand what I'm saying? That building, that was an inside job. You can quote me on that. Thank you for having me on the news. I've never been on the news before. This is fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to shout out some people. My man Shane, my man Woody, my man Mike. I appreciate you all. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. I'm on the freaking news right now. This is fantastic.
Well, that was certainly something. So let's see if we can check back in with Scrap Iron and see if he's been able to locate Destro or the Baroness, find out the cause of this fire. Over to you, Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron. Scrap, are you there? Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, and oh my God. Oh, I'm going to have to go over there now.
All right, so let's get into the news, and we will start with Motu because, well, it is Motu weekend, and that is we have the core line of the Castle Grayskull Snake Mountain 2 set, and I got to say this is actually pretty smart to try and get kids into it. I do hope that parents are taking their kids to see this. I think a lot of it's going to go over the kids. You know, a lot of little campiness will go over the kids' heads. There's a few. Well, we all listen. Anyone that is subscribed to Thanos Copters knows some of the jokes that were in Motu. But I think some of them are going to go over the kids. They're not going to be bothered by it. Parents aren't going to be bothered. And I like the fact that they said, hey, you know what? Let's do a pack of this where it is Castle Grayskull on one side, Snake Mountain on the other side, some play features. And this is the core line. So it's not real expensive. And I'm sure there will be some adults that are buying this to somehow work it into their origins or their core line or however they're going to do it. But there is your Motu. There's Trapjaw coming down this. Again, play features. This is what kids really, really do need. Play features, right? So there's your Battle for Eternia. It does come with a Skeletor. I will reiterate, I want every single Skeletor from this movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, okay. If you know what I'm talking about, you're like, hell yeah. McFarlane Toys, just from the vault. He's giving us a few things, or giving you guys a few things. I'm actually going to try and get through some of this pretty quickly because there was a lot of Marvel Legends news dropped today, and there's still a lot of G.I. Joe stuff to talk about. So here's Captain Carrot. I think that's his name. How is this not one of our jerkalopes? Here's your Batman from the vault. Now, again, this is one of those things. He's just reissuing these things because he probably wants to get stuff out, and let's use these molds as much as possible because he knows these molds are probably never going to be used again, which sucks for him, but he should have made better figures because I'm not sure how long I'm not sure how long Mattel has the license, but it's going to be for quite some time. Here we have the is this I don't know, whatever Superman this is. I want to say Metallo. It's not Metallo. But there's this Superman. And then we're going to get this Joker, which I got to say looks really sweet. I mean, it does look really good. These are all from the vault. So basically saying, hey, we're doing another run of these because I want to get as much product out as possible. I want people to look at 7-inch figures and not buy that Mattel stuff. To be 100% honest, yeah, they're going to buy it. Cyborg Superman. Yeah, it's like Metallo. All right. On to Star Wars. This is like the fastest I've ever moved through anything. So they are giving us Droids, the Black Series. These are all repaints. There are probably people that are absolutely furious about this. You know, they're doing YouTube videos, they're doing Instagram reels bitching about this. Remember, this is something you don't have to buy. You know, there's, just so you guys know, there's that option that you don't have to buy any of this. But here is R2D2 and C3PO painted and droid. So if you remember the droids cartoon, it really wasn't good. But they're giving you the option. And yes, these are in Black Series. So these are actually 6-inch figures, or actually a little bit below 6-inch figures, I believe. I believe this is technically closer to true 1/12 scale. I wish they paired better with Marvel Legends and Classified for sure. Let's see here. So here you go. The Star Wars droids. And as much as I don't really care for this, I do have to say every time I see one of these, and if it's a 4-inch, 3.75, or even the 6-inch, when they're doing, these retro cards, there is something that it takes you back, man. Like seeing the stuff on the pegs or seeing commercials for stuff like this, it does take you back to that simpler time in life. Yes, Viper Sky. Yes, people get mad over it. Is, I know, it's crazy. I can't imagine being part of a hobby that just makes me mad. But as we all know, being pissed off, controversy, yelling and screaming, that sells. That gets more clicks than just being, civil and talking about things you actually like. So, and here's R2D2. And, the thing that you can really tell is there's no sheen to the cartoon stuff, right? It's very matte. It really shows up on C3PO, right? And R2D2, kind of same thing. No chrome dome on him. Grays where the silver should be. And that's fine because that's what the aesthetic that they're looking for. So if you're interested in this, if you're a huge droid fan, or you just a huge Star Wars fan, you're like, I need this. Again, this is the recent R2D2 that we've gotten. So if you want it, there they are. And then we have Boba Fett and the Stormtrooper. I gotta say the Stormtrooper actually looks pretty damn cool. I do like the gray around it. Matthew says, I'm yelling at clowns. Hey, you know what? If that makes you happy, right? But yeah, so Matt O'Brien says, I do not mind repaints in a line, especially with Joe's and sub teams. I just wish companies sometimes would not be lazy about it. I.e. Techno Viper and Retro Techno Viper. Again, what are you supposed to change on them? And that's the problem when you don't classify it up and you put it in a retro card. But people want to army build it, and if they're too different, then people aren't going to want it. And there are people that did not like the fact that the retro carded Crimson Guard is such a different red than the other ones, right? So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Debo DNA jumping in saying, what's up, y'all? All right. So Stormtrooper, again, how many Stormtroopers have we had? Never hurts to have more army builders. Maybe you like having different styles. Well, here you go. You can have the different styles, a little bit of different color, but this guy here doesn't change that much. Again, they give you a little bit of grays, colored on some of it. And maybe you want to make that for, maybe these are different trainees or stuff like that. So it's up to you. Jad Jetman says, I'm kind of hoping they do Black Series figures from the Ewoks cartoons. Sorry, that's just me. Jetman, I would be surprised if it's not already in the cards, right? Like they know that people want this stuff, and they know people will, the people will buy it, and they're going to put it out there. And contrary to what everyone believes, they don't have to sell as many as a lot of people think, as long as the other companies buy them. There's a certain amount that all the companies have to sell to make their profit, and then everything else is just absolute gravy. You got just Jeff jumping in here saying evening. And then we have Boba Fett with these very weird colors, but they are very distinct to the Droids cartoon, if anyone remembers it. So I can guarantee there are people that love Boba Fett. I do too. I'm not a Boba Fett collector like a lot of other people. Like Dan Larson, I know, is a huge Boba Fett collector, or at least the original Boba Fett. He has like a huge a huge collection. So, but here you go. Again, the same figure that you've already gotten, just painted differently, but the same way the same way they did before. Again, repaints have always been part of collecting and toys and, well, Hasbro. Hey, look, and say Boba Fett, and Boba Fett jumps in saying, "Someone say Boba Fett?" Yes, we sure did. um, but yeah, so there you go. If you are interested, I'm not sure when these come up. Again, I'm trying to do better by giving the price and the dates, but sometimes I have a lot of other things going on in my life, and I have just enough time to get the slides done. Super 7, my favorite company, with their visionaries. I don't know. These are O-ring figures, and I know a lot of people are super excited. Okay, I know Terry from Circle of Jerks. I think Terry's still part of the Circle of Jerks. Does anyone know if Terry's still part of Circle of Jerks? I think he is. He loves O-ring stuff. He loves this. I will reiterate, Super 7, I love the fact that they give us characters that we never had before. I hate the fact that they refuse to move in with modern times and do what every other company is doing with modern articulation with O-rings. So there you go, Visionaries. This is the artwork. This is Darkstorm. This is the Reaction Plus. So if you are interested, Jim Smith says, "Who's Terry?" Who? Matt O'Brien saying, "Punk, another good strategy for repaints. Even for identical repaints, just do the repaint on the new Buck. I would love an Alley Viper repaint on retro, but with the pinless trench." I have a feeling that's probably something you will get later on. But again, you have to remember that everything comes with a price, and whether or not people believe it, there is a budget for each year. And that's probably why we're not getting a HasLab, is they were able to create more things with the budget that they had to give us. And I think I also do think that there's a lot to do with the move, but I think has a lot to do with it. They can give us more with the budget they were given by not doing it. And there's so many vehicles out right now, whether they be repaints or new stuff that's coming. So I think people are going to be happy with everything that we're going to be seeing. I mean, we're already seeing, we're getting 2 vehicles tomorrow, technically, right? The HAL is considered a vehicle. But anyway. And then you can summon them. I know nothing about Visionaries, so I don't know what summoning them is. But there's 2 different versions. This looks like the same guy. You have Darkstorm, and then you have Leoric, whoever. Anyway, magic, holographic power, whatever. If you want these and you like Super 7 or you don't, it doesn't. Again, if they're good, I bought a Super 7 the other day. I bought the Falcon USA 250th. I did get that in Canada. Believe it or not, Canada had all 4 of those Super 7 USA figures. The 250th ones just laying there. They didn't even hang them on the pegs. They just laid them down. That's how much they hate us. But yeah. I only picked up one because it's the only one that I liked. And I've liked this since the first time I saw it. And then I looked at the shotgun and went, why? Matt O'Brien quickly saying, "Damn you, Punk. Are you only saying that because you know I was right and this year was supposed to be the Moray?" Yep, never supposed to be the Moray. Matthew says, "Not doing a HasLab because of the move depends how many people quit or they fired if they do a HasLab next year." Remember that the HasLab is its own team. Lenny's talked about that before. They have input, but the HasLab, there's a HasLab team. They do the HasLab. The team works with them, but for the most part, yeah. and again, that's a ways down the road if they're going to do. But there is a reason why it was canceled, or they decided not to do it. And my understanding is a lot of people believe that it has to do with they were able to give more. Um, they were able to give more offerings throughout the year than one big item. I'm not saying I agree or disagree because I do enjoy the half slabs, obviously. But depending on what the made to order is, you know, depending on what the made to order is, then we'll you might enjoy it. Yeah, no, this year's HasLab is spelled. No, it's not, because that has nothing to do with G.I. Joe. I know you think so, but it has nothing to do with G.I. Joe. All right, Marvel Legends. So the Onslaught did go up for pre-order at Target. I know when I saw that this went up, I was excited for it. I heard everyone talk about it on Facebook. We don't need this. This is stupid. It's just a repaint. It's sold out. No one wanted this, but it fucking sold out. Have we heard that before? And we sure the hell have. So anyway, Onslaught went up. Will it be available at Target the day that it comes out? Yes. So you can just go up to Target and get it the day that it comes out. You look at the street date, I believe it's like the 19th of August. You can just go on up there and say, hey, go get the Onslaught out of the back, and they will bring it out. So there you go. Onslaught. I ordered them. I'm excited. I do want an Onslaught. TD Trooper is jumping in here. I think I said that right. Here we go. Jeff says, well, I've never read the comics with Onslaught, so I guess I can't buy this figure. Golly gee, what a bummer. No, you're allowed to buy it, but you're not allowed to say that you wish that you could swap the heads. You're not allowed to say you wish you could put a Charles Xavier head on it or a Wolverine head. You're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to buy it. But know that you're a lesser person because you did not read the comics and know exactly what he is from. All right. So these all went up today. We're going to kind of go through some of them. I don't think a lot of people are going. These sets are, they are what they are. If you like the Thunderbolts, here you go. You got Valentina and the Void. June 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a fan channel, Amazon exclusive. Probably because all those other ones were sitting at Walmart on clearance. I know people were excited about this. That face sculpt is not that great, but there's something about the Marvel Legends MCU figures that they just don't do a great job. I don't think the face looks bad. It just doesn't look like the actress. But it looks like what she has, a cell phone, a gun, and some different hands. A nice little skirt. They did their best to, I guess, have the highlights. The Void is just a remake. They did say they gave him different repaint. They gave him different hands and a different cape. And the cape, I believe, is what they said is translucent. I don't believe he is. They were talking something about something being translucent, right? So you can see about that. The eyes are white because that's the only thing. The only thing that highlights on them. So if you need a Void and this is what you've been looking for, hey, you know what? Go for it. In fact, this is fan channel exclusive and Amazon and Pulse. It should be like a $55 price point. I don't know how much, how well those other ones did. The MCU stuff seems to be very hit or miss. The Punisher figure is the one that definitely seems to do well. So there you go. The Void and Valentina. So this is the last of the Incredible Hulk line here. So this is Doc Samson. I know nothing about him. So yes, Jeff, I am no longer allowed to buy this guy as I did not read the comics. um, I thought Dwight did a pretty good job kind of explaining, hey, I never thought we'd do another one of this. This is a new figure. He hasn't been out for a while. He is pinless. And Dwight he's kind of swarmy when he says certain things, but I don't blame him because of all the stuff you might end up hearing, being the designer. But hey, if you have one and you're happy with it, then this isn't for you. This is something some of these collectors don't understand. Not everyone has been collecting since the day they were fucking born. Right? So, some people didn't get this. Some people don't want to pay aftermarket prices. Some people are so adamant that they hate pins that they would buy this just because it is pinless. So it is on a bigger buck. I said this on the Hercules buck. I hope this thing isn't $47 like the other one. Hopefully it is a cheaper price point. They did talk about the different flowing hair. I look at this figure and I have no interest in him whatsoever. No interest at all. Now, if he shows up at Meijer and he's 2 months early and no one has him, I might just pick one up, do a review on him. Billy Boy says, this is such an ugly figure. I think he's supposed to be. Sci-Fi George says, once the Thunderbolts pack hits 50 to 60 off on Amazon, I'll grab it. The body, hands, and cape are translucent. Okay. The body's hands. Okay. Yeah, I heard him talking about it. And again, I was in my car, so I'm just listening to it while I was going from one job to another. Wasn't really paying attention. I stopped and I looked at some of the stuff when I was done. So if you want this guy, you are available. Palpatine quickly saying, I'm 100% happy with Cobra Commander. Unfortunately, not too keen with the price tag. Yeah, we would talk about that for sure. All right. Pre-orders of a Secret Wars. I can't think of his name. And I can't see it. Fantastic Four villain. Walmart exclusive. This is Secret Wars. They said that this is, harkens back to, I think they've already done this one before. So, and then we also have the Walmart exclusive Boomerang or Captain, whatever his name is. Now, I was a little confused on this because this isn't the actual character that's going to be in the movie. So here he is, Dr. Doom. Thank you. I do know Dr. Doom. I have a couple of them. I just cannot think of it. MC Armasa says, did you know one of Doc Samson's powers is coming back to life? Dude, I know his name. And I only know his name because they said it on the stream. TK Storm here. Samson sure has some birthing hips. You guys are mean. So, okay. So, Boomerang comes with 2 different boomerangs. All the other ones are fixed to him. And they specifically mentioned that about how they would get lost. So, they just fixed them to him. So, you're only going to get 2 boomerangs. Now, I know who the character is. I don't know anything about him. The suit looks dumb. So I'm not really understanding how this is supposed to fit in with No Way Home, but it is. So if you're interested, you can pick it up. I'm sorry, Brand New Day, not No Way Home. Brand New Day. He did talk about how they were invited over. They give them some sample shots of what they're doing, not so much what the story arc is. So maybe this will look closer to what we're gonna see in the movie. JLS Comics are jumping in and say, I have to grab Dr. Doom every time a new one is released. Well, then you are the person they are marketing towards. So here he is, Dr. Doom. That is a weird gun that he is carrying. This one has no cape, as you can see. I do like the face sculpt. It looks pretty cool. If all right, I'm just gonna say it. If you changed all of the man, dude, if you made this all dark purple, you would have Skeletor from the movie. Do you hear me, Mattel? I want all the Skeletors from the Masters of the Universe movie. David Allen jumping in and saying, "Hey, Punk, I really want this Boomerang last figure for the Sinister Syndicate villain team." Awesome. See, like, just because I don't want it, it is meant for somebody, and that is awesome, right? Indie Mystery jumping in here saying comic edition. Yeah, I don't know. So here we go with the lenticular shield. I really want to show you how it works. We know how the lenticular shields work. You didn't really have to show us. Anyway, there you go. There's your Dr. Doom. Secret Wars. His guns. It has 2 attachments to it. Oh, anyway. Okay. I'm not interested, but if you are, go get it. Here is Cypher. Now, Cypher, of course, I took him. Is supposed to match with Magic. So if you have Magic, he will match. I'm not really sure about the New Eternia He-Man sword that he comes with. I don't know. It wasn't a New Eternia He-Man. Isn't that what the sword kind of looks like? But you get the black and the yellow, the red belt. If you need this for an X-Men team, I think this is the only reason. You're either buying this because you're a huge X-Men fan, or you're either a huge X-Men fan, or you have to, finish a team. I have no idea who this guy is and could care less. Stark Rose jumping in and saying, did they spell his name wrong? Who are we talking about? Cypher or Dr. Doom? They spelled Dr. Doom right. So I can't speak to Cypher. I don't read the comic. I have no idea. Like, if you said Cypher, I'd be like, oh, wasn't Cypher in the Matrix? Oh, this guy has a sword. He thinks he's New Eternia He-Man. So there you go. But if you want him, he's for someone, right? There you go. There's everything that he does come with. I believe this buck has been used more than once or twice, right? All right. Starkroad says Boomerang. I was not paying attention. I don't think Marvel Legends makes mistakes. Unlike, listen, I love Lenny. He's really made classified fun for me. That guy has more spelling mistakes than I do. All right. Okay. So here we go. The Green Goblin. This is from the last Spider-Man movie, but it also can be mixed and matched depending on what you want to do. If this one doesn't sell out, I will be absolutely shocked. Pulse and mainline retailer. June 16th, it goes up for 1 p.m. This is I'd be shocked if this one doesn't sell out, right? This is like boom. Yes, no editors. Seriously, explaining first off the heat seek being spelt wrong, I believe, right? Heat seeker spelt wrong. Dreadnoks being spelt wrong. Yeah. All right. Here's a crazy concept. It has a flight stand. But if you want this, I have a feeling this might be one that I actually pick up. It just looks so damn good. It really, really looks good. And again, some people say I didn't like the movie, and that's fine. You don't have to get it. Not everyone has to like everything. You can move on and just let other people enjoy it and have fun. So there you have his mask. I think it's supposed to be blowing up. It is broken. His glider. So I see this is one that it will sell out. People will want it. People are going to be pissed off that they didn't get it later on in life. Those would be the same people that tell you that it sucks and that they don't want it. I feel like there's a lot of that going on. All right. Another wave of the Deadpool and Wolverine. 2 of these are concept figures that they had seen that obviously weren't in it. And one is the Calverine. So July 9th, Pulse and Mainline. So you're basically an X Factor Deadpool. He is just a full-on repaint. With what the X I think is, I think that's different. But you're gonna get the swords, you get the gold pistols, which are they're painted shitty. But there you go. If you are interested, there you go. But these are concept from the movie. But yeah, I actually think this. I think this color looks pretty damn good. Do I need another Deadpool that's the exact same repaint? I don't know. We'll see. Not so gold. It's something. It's definitely something. I'll say that. And I'm assuming Maximum Spider-Man, you're talking about the Green Goblin. Yeah, I plan on getting that for sure. So here you go. Deadpool. Again, concept art. This is just a repaint other than what should be that piece, that little wide piece that's going over him. Then we're going to get the Calverine. And this is something that I believe Matthew told me about before the Deadpool Wolverine movie. And he messaged me and said, I have friends that have told me that Henry Cavill is playing a version of Wolverine in the movie. And there were people that argued and people said, no, that's not true. You know, they're not going to do that. Well, there's so many rumors, and this is kind of the world hopping when they do this that they're trying to do. This is cool. This is a fun idea. It is a different style of Wolverine. I can't not see the gaps in his shoulders, though. When they actually showed this off, I was like, did someone not notice? Like, I would not be able to do this picture and leave it. And I'm not a great photographer. I would have had to pull those shoulders out because, oh my God, I can't not see it. And it is driving me nuts. Alex Martinez saying, I want this version of Wolverine. You'll be able to get it. It's going to be everywhere, right? So there you go. This is just fun. Again, this is one of those, it's fun. But if you don't want it, then you don't have to get it. It does have the dirty pants. So, Joe ARH, who better be working right now on making sure he can make it to Joe Fest 2025, or else I'm going to be really, really pissed at him. Can't wait for the repaint rebox with the motorcycle. It's called Forward Thinking. Yeah, well, you know they're not giving him a cigar. Jeff, don't start doing this, Jeff. You're usually good here. You know that Hasbro can't give a cigar, all right? This is for 4 and up, all right? Although this may actually say 14 up. Either way, to give it a cigar, you'd have to do 18 and up because that's how old you have to be to smoke a cigar or a cigarette. So anyway, if you want the Calverine, there you go. And then we have this concept of a mix of Wolverine and Deadpool. And this really, this reminds me of Dark Claw. So if anyone remembers, that DC Marvel crossover where Batman and Wolverine crossed over. If you change the colors, you have that version for the most part. And look, if you do look, you have two Batmans kissing in the Wolverine mask. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the two Batmans kissing, go look at Batman the Animated Series, look at the mask, and then you can see two Wolverines kissing. Now you'll never not see it. Stu for lunch saying, evening folks, happy Monday. You all talking toys. That's what we need to talk about, right? I don't talk politics. I'll tell you that much. I ain't never going down that fucking road. But I think we're getting a lot of repainting here. But it's something interesting. It's something unique. It is concept art. So Joe says, I believe it's docking. No, their faces are kissing. Cookstar says Deadpool and Wolverine did the fusion dance. But yeah, this is again, these are not the greatest bucks. And again, I don't know why the Marvel Legends MCU are so much different than proper Marvel Legends, but there is a difference. So there you go. If you want this and you need it, it will be available. Pick it up. Have fun with it. If you don't want it, just move on. Your life will be the exact fucking same the next morning when you wake up. Unless if you don't wake up, then your life is completely different because you no longer have a life. All right, so this was the other one, Spider-Man Brand New Day, comic edition. But again, this is what I don't understand, right? Like, if it's a comic edition to Brand New Day, how does that fit into Brand New Day? That's what I don't get. All right. If it's supposed to be MCU Brand New Day, how is it comic edition? I'm just asking. But you can tell this is on using old legs from an old buck as they are pinned. It looks like there's pinned arms also. He does have this new tail. He has a very unique screaming face. So if you're interested, and I'm sure there are people that are interested and are going to want this. Man, you can really see that boot cut. Oh, it's ugly. It is ugly. Into Mystery says they did comic editions way back with their 4-inch figures for the early Avengers movies. Yeah, but I mean, they've changed since then. That's my biggest thing. Like it's Brand New Day. So I don't understand why they would do this. I mean, I understand why they would do it, but you could just release this as, comic Spider-Man figures. That's just what I don't get. Action figures sold separately, jumping in, say probably based on the comics. Somewhat, but he talked about going there and seeing their costumes and having, a little bit, being able to see what their outfits are. So I don't know. Something I'm not interested in, but if you are, it is going to be available. So go pick it up and enjoy and have fun with it. And again, like, if you don't like it and you don't buy it, your life is going to be the same tomorrow. Okay, so these are inspirational because of the film Darkening Back. I think you meant Harkening Back. But I don't know. So here is this is a re-release of the No Way Home Spider-Man with the Spider-Man lifting up his mask. I'm sure there are people losing their minds right now because this one has already been done. They did change the paint a little bit. And I think this is where he said, hey, you know what? If you already have it and you're happy with it, don't worry about it. It's not for you. Boom. I definitely get that, right? If it's not for you, just move on. You already have it. Don't buy it. There are more than enough people to buy Spider-Man figures. I can say I have no interest in this one because the Spider-Man, again, this is gripe of mine. Spider-Man should have guys like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes. Those guys need to have great articulation because that's what they are, But he has no is there a boot cut there? There's no way there's a boot cut there. That those legs. Do they not look completely different? Hey, it's just the angle, man, but it looks something really weird there. But anyway, there you go. If you need this because you missed it, then hey, here's your chance to get it again. And then we get this guy. G.I. Jetman, I don't want to hear what you're doing right now because I know it's like your favorite X-Men. They have needed to re-release a Beast. This is a completely new mold, which means they probably will give another X-Men Beast later on. I know there are some people that are kind of upset that he's not as furry. This is based on X-Men 97, and it is completely redone, and I am perfectly happy with it. As they give him toe articulation, the diaphragm cut, pinless joints, a new face, again, completely new sculpt. This is a good looking figure, and I'm happy to finally. I have a Dark Beast. That's the only Beast that I have. But I don't care. I have no problem mixing and matching my X-Men. I know that one guy would be really mad because, he probably thinks that I don't watch the X-Men animated series, and how dare I mix my X-Men 97 Cyclops with, a Wolverine that is from the cartoons. I'm not supposed to do that. That is just wrong. You are bad, you bad collector. But this Beast is there's a reason why I didn't go and looking for that other Beast. I was like, they got to be coming out with Beast soon because they haven't done a 97 one. This I'm happy with, and I think most people are. Just Jeff saying he's excited about this Beast. Action figure sold separately finally. So Andrew Taylor saying, I so want a classic Avenger. So this is, again, and this is one thing I will definitely say. Oh, no, David, yeah. It was somebody that had an issue with, my, I was a complaint, me pointing out with the Professor Hulk that the heads are not interchangeable between Maximum Hulk along with the hands, and he basically said, this shows people don't read the comics. You should whatever, dude. We're allowed to do whatever we want. Jetman saying a favorite Marvel character, I must have every Beast. But what I was saying is I'm surprised they don't do more Beasts because he has been in different iterations, like the Avengers and stuff like that. And even though I am not a huge comic book fan, so I don't know them all, I have seen him in other outfits. And I would think, I know the last one was, I think, the one with the X on it. I don't like that Beast. So I don't buy it. I'm like, they will eventually give me one. Viper Scott says, he looks nothing like Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer was a great Beast. All right. You see him as Frazier. Again, works perfectly. But anyway, there you go. This is Beast. The backpack. Does the backpack not look like that little walking droid from Star Wars? That's what I keep thinking. It looks like that little walking droid from Star Wars. Beast trim the hedges to make the deck look bigger. It's not a crime to landscape. They should have given him a little manscaping tool. Like that should have been one of his accessories. Anyway, here he is. If you're interested, I know I'm interested. This is one I will definitely be picking up when it's available. All right. So this was the hints models. A redhead with Mary Jane on it. I have no idea. And then a book with a looks like a little picture book or something. So does anyone know what these hints are too? Because I have no idea. I also haven't looked. I feel like these are some easy hints to get, but I have no idea. So Billy Boy says, what's the point of the backpack? It looks so weird and generic. Because it's probably in the cartoon. It's X-Men 97. So it's probably in the cartoon. Let's go Christmas Spider-Man. Oh, it's a present. Okay. That redhead is MJ. People saying Christmas Spidey. That is Ann Sketcher. Well, I can see Mary Jane on it. This is the first time I've actually gotten this is the first time I can remember any of these little sneak peeks. Like such a clear shot of it. So it looks like Christmas gifts. Joe Eric say Tobey Maguire, Raimi versus Imba. I don't think so. Santa, Spider-Man, and MJ. All right. Well, a lot of people are thinking Christmas Spidey. Okay. All right. So there you go. Jada Toys quickly. You guys know his name. I need a Wreck-It Ralph now to go with him. He went up for pre-order. It also reminded me I didn't pre-order the other figure. The last one that came up. Shark Eyes jumping said, when are we talking about? Oh, I've already talked about the clickbaiting and how there is no Mauler coming, so you don't need to worry about it. And I don't understand why some people do clickbait. I already talked about it earlier. But anyway, here's Zangief. If you want Zangief, you can go out and get him. Well, you can pre-order him. He looks awesome. This is a guy that I think, yeah, Jada's just they just fucking killed it, man. Yes, Tony, last one, brother, Zangief. Yes, I'm glad. Oh, well, don't worry. We'll be talking more about G.I. Joe, I'm sure. So there you go. If you need this figure, he is up for pre-order at all where places all fine collectibles are sold. And again, if you don't have a Jada figure yet, what the fuck? Like, I'm not even dying. Seriously, like, you should have a Jada figure in your lineup. Just if you're a toy collector. Now, I do like the accessories. I don't remember him ever playing, but it looks like his hand glows in the dark. I didn't read that either, but I don't know if it does. But yeah, I did pre-order it. And T-Hawk I did not order. Raptor needs a better Falcon. I don't know why I didn't pre-order him. And then even when I ordered this guy, I noticed I meant to go pre-order him and I didn't. So, all right. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Oops. All right. So first off, we got the pre-orders. We kind of knew about it. Some of us had this pre-ordered on Walmart for quite some time because Walmart accidentally posted them. This is the Snake Eyes, and is it Night Viper? Now, the Snake Eyes here is an homage to the puffy Snake Eyes misprint of a sticker back in the day. He's going to come with the Vermint. Is it Varmint? and then the 788 Stealth Trouble Bubble. This is a 2-pack, $110, which, in all honesty, before people get mad about this, yeah, but I thought they call them like a night. Oh, yeah, not Night Viper, but the Stealth Viper, not Stealth Viper. I thought that's what they originally called them, but who knows? Either way, this is $110, and if you don't want it, then you don't have to get it. I think this is a perfect $110 2-pack because it is 2 vehicles that people like, but they're not the iconic vehicles that people are like, I have to have this in my collection to complete what was the original line of the A Real American Hero. So if this would have been, hold on. If this would have been the Ferret and this Trouble Bubble, or regular Trouble Bubble and this Vermin, I could understand people being mad. These are 2 vehicles which I do think look good, but they're not part of the lore. They're nothing that you have to have. So if you can walk away from it, and I've heard a lot of people say it, I know Spec said, hey, you know what? If I see this at Ross on discount, I'll pick it up. Now, obviously, I ordered it. I'm a completionist. I do my reviews. You guys all know that, all right? So for me, it's not a big deal. But this is how it should be. You're not holding something that you have to have. This is not like an original Snake Eyes, and you're like, wow, this is the only way I can get Commando Snake Eyes. These are different versions of them that you don't have to have, but I feel like they did a good job of making them actually pretty cool. Matt O'Brien saying, just wish they were sold separately. That is an argument that I can understand, and that's one that I could debate. Now, why they decided to do a $110 2-pack, I don't know. It seems kind of silly, but maybe they're like, hey, you know what? I feel like both would. I feel like they would both sell equally the same, especially at the price point of $55. And $55 for both of them, for the prices that are going up, these are now $60 price points. I probably shouldn't say that too loud because somewhere Hasbro is going, whoa, wait a minute. How did we not see that? Alex Mancini says, yep, I got 2 on pre-order. Listen, I haven't pre-ordered. I have so many pre-ordered, but I only want 1. And I'm out of space. But again, I think they look good, but they're not iconic where it's like, I feel like I have to have them or anyone should. So, there's the box for it. I think this is actually cool. It's considered Battle in a Box. So they're basically, this is one of those things where it's like, you want to get your kid into G.I. Joe, you're a father, you buy this for him. Now he has 2 vehicles and 2 figures. Again, when I was a kid, my dad told me, I asked, can I get a G.I. Joe? He said, get 2 vehicles. I picked the Vamp, and I picked, it must have been, well, whatever one didn't have the figure, the Howitzer. And he said, well, why don't you get that one? Because then you'll have 2 figures and 2 vehicles. And this is exactly what that is. So, I think they look good, but it is one of those things where, hey, dad buys 1, kid's happy. He has 2 vehicles, 2 figures. I don't know how much that's actually going to happen, but I feel like this is their thinking behind it. Matthew says, I like the color of both vehicles, but don't need them. Better price than the despoiler, but wish they were separate. Technically, it is the same price as the despoiler. But I understand what you're saying. Better value. Andrew Taylor says, why 2-pack? It fills the $100 price point with 0 new tooling. And that's one of those things. Do they need a $100 price point figure or accessory, right? Whatever. And then I don't know. And so it's just weird that they would do this, but maybe that's what it is. And again, it makes one of those things where it's like, hey, you know what? You're buying it all at once. And it's not $120. I know that sounds stupid to say, but I'm glad. David quickly saying, Punk, I loved your classified collection video. Thank you very much. I did a couple of one where I talked about it, and one was a little bit quicker. That's my living room. It's out of space. Baldylocks saying it's a smart set. You really saying that, or are you just? Stop grabbing onto the spoiler, Matthew. Wow, man, Baldy coming in hot here. All right. So this went up for pre-order last Wednesday. Then they dropped Deep Six. I don't know why I have the back of Deep Six, but here is the front of Deep Six. A completely new tooled figure. He has this harpoon that they did talk about, and what it's named after. It's named after some sort of Greek mythology. They give you two different helmets, like a proper deep sea diver helmet. They also give you the globe that he originally had. They specifically talked about how we didn't put any markings on him, like G.I. Joe markings other on the backpack, because we want this to fit in other 6-inch lines of people that might not be collecting G.I. Joe Classified. And I think that is really smart. And again, before anyone is wondering, that would have gone back to Lenny and Tony and B-Mac all discussing this. And I do want to say this. They brought on Dan Larson because they needed someone. And I was like, B-Mac's kind of boring, but I will say that I thought B-Mac took control of that stream. Maybe because he was kind of forced to, but I thought he did a really good job of pointing certain things out. And when I've seen him on Transformers and G.I. Joe, he's actually kind of just been a background character, not saying much. I got a completely different feel this time. But anyway, he talked about this here. There's no G.I. Joe markings. This guy can be a space guy. This guy can also be a deep sea guy. They also made it so if the suit is depressurized and he died. So I think people are going to like this. I think people are going to like this. Emerald Knight jumping in here saying 18 days to Joe Fest. No, Emerald Knight. By the time the show is over, it will be 17 days, correct? Please tell me it's 17 days, right? It's fucking 17 days. Maybe it's 18 days to Joe Fest, but 17 days till we get there. Again, John, thank you so much for joining me last Thursday. It was a blast. If you haven't watched the Drive to Joe Fest, head on over there and watch it after the show. Not watch it now. But anyway, here it is. If you want Deep Six, here you go. My understanding is Deep Six is Spec's favorite figure in the line. All right. Now we have Scarlet and Shebangs. This is the Target exclusive that nobody wanted but sold out and people lost their minds. And no, I am not joking. People were pissed that it sold out. I was talking to my boss, so I did not get it on Hasbro Pulse. I got it on Target. It was up on Target for a couple hours, but then it sold out. Believe me, this will be available in Target when the time comes. Now, if you're into Ninja Force, you are definitely going to like this. B-Mac did mention about her hips, and because they don't have the play features, if there's not a big giant play feature, that she doesn't have the big giant hips, which is good. She looks better than I think we could have expected. Sometimes these female face sculpts are not the greatest. But anyway, Matt O'Brien says, this figure looks great. I pre-ordered it. The $42 price point was rough when you compare him to Heavy Duty or Budo and more stuff of that price. Well, unfortunately, that is a new price point, and I'm not going to sit up here and try and justify it. They went from 40 to 43 really fucking quickly, and it It's awful. Shark Guys is saying Deep Six is currently $199 on Amazon Australia. I kid you not. That is. Would it be cheaper to order from Bees Battleground and then just have them ship it to you? Oh, you know what you could do? You could join in one of Baldy's raffles that he does. I think with Baldy, you do like 18 raffles a day. And that's the reason why you don't have time to do our slides. Anyway, Pop Blender jumping in here say, if you want Deep Six, here you go. If you want Deep Roy, you're gonna have to kidnap him. Okay. But here you go. Ninja Force. I know not everyone's in a Ninja Force, and if you're not, awesome. You don't need to be. All right. King Cobra Commander. Yes, the crown comes off. Man, I am so glad that BMAC literally in the fucking, again, remember, those aren't live. Those are pre-recorded. They're already done. He addresses the crown coming off and he's like, yeah, I believe we were using it as a ring. I cannot believe how many people were asking if the fucking crown came off. Like they literally used the crown. That's how we were all able to Photoshop it onto a Hooded Cobra Commander. Yet these people are like, seriously, some of them are they're fucking morons. All right. Like, I wonder, I cannot believe someone was smart enough to even tie their fucking shoes in the morning. Like, they literally showed the crown. But these people are like, maybe the crown doesn't come off. No, the fucking crown does. Well, maybe Lenny just had it. No. Anyway. I just gotta keep it down. Because I'm sure I'm gonna get hot when we get to Hooded Cobra Commander. The actual topic. So this is mostly a repaint of the Crimson Guard. Obviously a new mask. Now I don't understand why. Like, so they're giving it Supreme Cobra Commander's cape. I really wish they would have given him Supreme Cobra Commander's pistol. That is the best Cobra Commander pistol they've done. The one that comes with the retro figures is short. The one that comes with Supreme Cobra Commander is way better. Still the same hands. They're giving you, instead of the globe, they give you the snake wrapped around the globe. They give you the stupid pistol that looks like Han Solo's blaster. They give you Serpentor's staff. But then they give you this brand new throne, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that it is painted on the back. And they talk about he is on top of all the serpents. I think it's really cool. Like, they did a really good job with this. A lot of people thought this was going to be SDC exclusive. I can tell you that there was a big toy company online, PBTS, that knew about this since November. So if it was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, they changed it a long time ago when they were putting up the solicitations for it. Yes, US Combat Dojo, the crown does come off. Matthew says, it's the internet. The bell curve is clearly shown in the posting intelligence of the internet. Yeah. Yeah, his Mindbender's boots. So, I mean, it is mostly Kit Bash, but like the upper torso. And again, you don't really notice until someone points it out because of the accents and everything. This is what action figures are. So before people think, hey, this should be an all-new sculpt, listen, they do enough all-new sculpts. This one looks good. Keanu Leave says the accessories don't look too bad. I love that staff. That hoodie Coco stole from the Jafar from OLED. Well, that is actually Serpentor's staff, but yes. He is still sitting on a throne while crowning. That's disgusting. And Palpatine says, absolutely amazing CC. Like I said earlier, I had to pre-order this for $100. Sucks, but this is what international collectors have to fork out stupidly expensive pricing. I will, and when it comes to the price, here's the whole thing. You can't yell and scream, and I'm not saying you, but in general. The community can't yell and scream and bitch and moan and complain that there's no Hooded Cobra Commander and not think that the company doesn't go, well, let's give it a throne and raise the price to fucking $70. Right? I mean, they know people want it. Now, this was a fan channel exclusive. This is why on my links you did not see it on Amazon. What you did see was BBTS had it for $54 for a very short amount of time. Entertainment Earth had it for $52 for a short amount of time. And then GameStop had it for $54, which tells me the original solicitation for this was supposed to be around $52 to $55. And none of them fixed it. None of them fixed it. So Cookster says, hope they'll release the retro version of Hooded Cobra Commander similar to what we saw in the cartoons. I have a feeling that it's going to be a little while before they do that, only because, hey, you have waited this long. We're giving this to you. Don't expect one right away. That is just my opinion. That is just my opinion on it. That they're going to make you wait it out. I think eventually they will, but they're going to make you wait it out. All right. So here's the back of it, sitting on the throne, Cobra Commander. I'm sure that Serpentor will fit in this. If that's who you want to be sitting on the throne, you can do that. All right, here's the side of the box, number 221. Damn. We've got a lot of figures. Man, there's a lot of 2 and 3 packs. All right, so once again, here we are. They are giving us the different file cards, pretty much online, not even on their website. So here is your Scarlet. Somehow she becomes a ninja. Somehow Emperor Palpatine returned. We have Snake Eyes. We have Shebang. There's a Stealth Viper. Deep Six. Cobra Commander. All right. So on to this. So these are the figures that will be going up this Wednesday on Hasbro Pulse. And this is Action Man or Tom Cruise, whatever you want to say. Tom Cruise, Action Man. Looks pretty much the fucking same. Okay. It really does look like Tom Cruise. A lot of reuse here of Outback. The Outback backpack, his guns, his shovel, which is called an entrenching tool. People get mad when I call it a shovel. What is an entrenching tool? It is a shovel. Okay. A lot of Alpine stuff. Now, I feel like this guy should have looked more like Sylvester Stallone from that movie where he goes climbing. Probably would have made more sense. But he does have like the mainframe hat and everything. I think he looks pretty cool. I knew about this figure. I was hoping he would fit more with the aesthetics of the Big Bad Workshop. What's the Big Bad Workshop one? I can't think of their name. I was hoping he would fit more with that, but let's be honest, the toys, we can make them all work together. Action Figs is saying they'll never do Hooded Cobra Commander without something on his hood. That's why all the pictures for the marketing have the crown on it. No, they're actually holding it. There's one where he's holding it. Well, again, JL says Shebang Shebang sounds like a Ricky Martin. So when again, when they cliffhanger, thank you. When they announced it and they kept saying his name, I put it out with the Shebang song on it. But yeah, so this is Action Man. I will reiterate. There was G.I. Joe before 1982. Don't let anyone tell you that G.I. Joe did not exist before 1982. And don't let people tell you that G.I. Joe ended in 1994. Was it 94? Whatever. G.I. Joe was more than the real American hero. So that's one of those things. There's a lot of different things. And I hope that they hit everything, because this is how you bring people in. This is how you keep them in. This is how that guy that, oh man, I remember this one, and they grab it. So this one does go up again, Pulse exclusive. You can see here, Pulse. The next one is Grand Slam with the Hal. Now, people were arguing, people were wondering, are we going to get the Hal or are we going to get the jump pad? Is it going to be the silver padded Grand Slam? This was a really easy thing because the picture they showed was Grand Slam in the Hal. And also, if you want to complete your OG 13, the OG 13 Grand Slam did not have silver pads. That was part of Wave 1.2 or Wave 2. That was part of the 83 line. Do I think we'll get it? Yeah, dude. They just made a figure with pads that can only be used for Grand Slam, Flash, or silver padded Flash. The big knobby tires on this thing, I will be interested to see how it all fits. You can see it has new blast effects. Now, the blast effects seem to be enlarged versions of what comes with sci-fi. 2 different sizes, which I do like, so they'll kind of offset each other. But what that means is that we are getting different blast effects. Now, there is somebody that is in here right now. This guy right here. He always laughs at heavy artillery laser. That it kind of contradicts itself. Shark Guy says G.I. Joe was originally branded as Action Man here when the 12-inch line was a thing, and again when they launched in the 82 line. Yes. Sean Forrester jumping in here saying, can't wait for this Ethan Action Man figure. Yeah, it didn't really dawn on me until someone zoomed in on it and they were like, yeah, it does. And it doesn't bother me. I'm not a Tom Cruise hater. Joe RH says, G.I. Joe ended when I stopped collecting, and everything before I started was a mistake. Some ridiculous elite collector, probably. No, you can put probably in parentheses, but you fucking know it's true. And the fact is, you could probably name who you fucking think it is too, and we would all agree. Viper Scout says 98 to 2012 considered dark years, but has some of my favorite stuff. Dark years or not, it still happened. That's all that I'm saying, right? So anyway, the big knobby tires. This does look more classic than what I was expecting. With that said, it is a laser gun. And even though there are some people, there are still some people that don't like when they say they don't like this new classified figure because it's not military based. I'm like, have you ever looked at the G.I. Joe fucking line? This was in Wave 1. Now, I never served in the military. My moderator, Ed, he did, and I know there's a few other people. How many people in the military were wearing, baseball catcher pads? I'm going to guess none. I'm going to guess none. David says, Punk, do you think Classified would make concept figures now that Marvel Legends has done this? Maybe getting unreleased Operation Blackout designs. Are you talking about that video game? I've been saying for quite some time that I think that we will definitely get that Storm Shadow, but maybe not as much now because that was Lenny's design, and we got it in the higher form, and I know that probably killed. It must have killed Lenny that was his design and it never got done. My understanding is whoever's taking over the lead design of G.I. Joe is good friends with Lenny. So maybe that is something they will push for as some of these older designs like that Storm Shadow. And I mean, you can look at that sci-fi and you only need to tweak it a little bit. But we've seen them do this where they went and, Glenda. We have Glenda and what was the other female? And no, to everyone thinks that was an Emily pushing her female agenda on everyone. No, those were characters that really existed in some lore of G.I. Joe. So Big M jumping in and saying, "What's up, everyone?" Quarrel, thank you very much. Like that was not Emily pushing anything. It existed. Just because you don't fucking know about it, and even though you are on the device to bitch about it, and you could use this thing called Google, and you could look it up and find out that, oh, hey, like it existed before I looked like a fucking moron. You didn't. This is right here. I want Gaucho. Like you have the design for him. So, the female Crimson Guard was Emily. Sorry. And then we got this. Now, we all knew this was coming, but I don't think any of us had it on our minds that it was going to be coming right now. So basically they took the vamp, they gave it the stinger doors, they clearly changed the top of it. Now we were all under the assumption that the missile rack is for the Snowcat, but I know somebody said that Lenny said that the Snowcat missile rack is way too big for this. But those are the Snowcat missiles, and the rack looks pretty close. And yes, I've said rack a few times. So maybe they just shrunk it down a little bit, but it is the same design. But you're going to get the same stuff. You get your tan clutch, which I think we've all been waiting for. It looks like he has pretty much everything that came with the original clutch. This is also a Pulse exclusive. So all three of these are Pulse exclusives. My understanding, this is $115 price point. So we'll see if it's either going to be $110 or $115. I had heard $115, but we'll all find out tomorrow for sure. Hopefully they keep it at 110, because if they went to 115, it means they're moving it pretty quickly. Cowshave says another unique steel core helmet. Well, they're going to give it to you for people that want an army build. That is for sure. But we've all been waiting for this. There were more differences between the original Vamp and the Vamp Mark II. This here really looks like a kit bash of it, and I mean it is. I mean, before this is just like a true kit bash of it. I would have liked to see, I guess, something a little bit different, and I think using the same, at least from what I believe, is a very similar design as the Snowcat. I don't know. I like the tan clutch. Obviously, I'm going to get it. Where I'm going to put it, we'll worry about that when it's it's time, right? But yeah, so, but these are all going to be available this Wednesday, 1 p.m. on Pulse, or maybe 2 p.m. either 1 or 2 p.m. Either way. And yeah, I disagree because once you run out of your 4 missiles, you're fucked. You're just fucked. Like, you fired your 4 missiles, you are done. You are a sitting duck. You're going to race home like the bitch you are. Where the vamp is going to sit in the fight because it has a gun. Cressio Crow says there should be a cut hatch in the. Well, there might be. We don't know because this looks like it is a different roof. So we'll see. But I know what you're talking about. There you go. That is that's it. That's all the slides that I have. So that's all coming. They did announce Dusty and Sandstorm. So we should see the inputs. If you don't know, that's called an input. The inputs of Dusty and Sandstorm and also the Snow Rescue Ranger. He's not Rescue Ranger, but that's what I hear in my mind. So yeah, those will all go up. And then I believe the final week should be the 5-figure wave of I forget who they are. We talked about it before. Oh wait, Viper Scout, where's the Mauler at? Yeah, so the Mauler, because Travis Moody decided to do, he wanted to do clickbait, about a Mauler. And I've heard people asking, saying, wait, I'm hearing more rumors about the Mauler. And I listened to another YouTuber go, I don't even know where he hinted at that. I can tell you that there is no Mauler in the plans for right now. That is not a made to order. That is what we call clickbait in the YouTube world. You put something out there, people tune in, you hope that they click it and they wait for it. The Mauler, contrary to what people might think, it's not a desert tank. It's just a tan tank. It's not a desert tank. So anyone that might be wondering, you're right. No Mauler, damn it. So to anyone that might think that, hey, we're getting a Mauler, that's our made to order. It is not the made to order. If there is going to be a made to order, wait, hold on. If there is a made to order for next year, this year going into next year, but it will not be the Mauler. But if you want something that looks like a Mauler, then go to Ramen Toys and he'll have you covered, right? There you go. Your moray is probably at the bottom of a pool because that thing didn't stay up. And then, okay, yep. So it's Iceberg. It is Iceberg. It is Rugged Duke, which is not, let me reiterate, Rugged Duke, from all understanding, it is not Energon Duke, and there are a reason for that, and you'll find out why next year. There is a reason that this is not Energon Duke. Toxo Viper, Mistress Armada, and the surprise figure is, anyway, you'll find that out on Wednesday, or not, in 2 weeks. I will say this, it is an all new character. It is an all new character. Does he wear a cowboy hat? That I don't know, but it is an all new character. So that's, and the only reason why we know that's going to be there is because Walmart already put the fucking wave up. Walmart already put the wave up by accident with no pictures. And you have no idea what figure you ordered unless you're able to crack the codes of what their code words are. So that should go up the final week. And I'm thinking we'll either see the made to order and it will go up, or they're just going to show you what the made to order is. The made to order, from my understanding, is not going to hit. It's not going to be available to next year. So that means you probably want to put it up soon. I don't know if you want it to be a SDCC exclusive when it goes up or not, but there's still other stuff coming. So we're going to have, there's still a lot of shit to come this year and a lot of stuff for 2027. The line is not dead, but I am going to take a quick break, but we're going to talk about Hooded Cobra Commander and what my topic is and what I want to discuss, because I've already had people kind of call me out, called other people out that said we're not getting a Hooded Cobra Commander. I'm going to kind of explain exactly what I said, and I went back and watched my video, and I didn't ever say we're never going to get it. So anyway, a quick message from I really don't have sponsors.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hooded Cobra Commander. Now, in the past, many of you guys have known, people would bring it up. It wasn't just me. I know Chris McLeod, of the Full Force, he would get hammered with it. I would get hammered with the answer, or with the question. People would tell us that there's money behind it. They're going to do it. It has nothing to do with what you said. That is not true. It is so not true. And guys like Brian Flynn, Super 7, he said, hey, there's one of the things that we were told we cannot do is Hooded Cobra Commander. Carson, from my understanding, he was told that he cannot have Hooded Cobra Commander on the front of his Omnibook. That was another one, right? So it's and I've talked to people that worked there at the time. I'll just say Corey fucking Cantaloupe flat out fucking told us, myself and Zen, Joe Fest 2024, they said you cannot do Hooded Cobra Commander. It doesn't mean that they were never, ever, ever able to do it. All right? Because it's their property. They're allowed to. So there was an edict that you cannot do Hooded Cobra Commander. And I remember I asked Corey, and they said, well, Jada did. Now, he no longer worked there at the time, but he talked about us trying to get Hooded Cobra Commander. And BMAC has even said, like, these guys have been trying to do it forever. So it sucks that they weren't there for it, right? But Jada Toys, their little metal figures, they had a Hooded Cobra Commander in the 6-pack. But when the Stinger came with Cobra Commander, they had changed it. And I said to Corey, I go, so do you think that Jada was told that they need to scrap that mold? And he said, oh, I'm not there. He said, I can't say that. But yes, that's exactly what happened. So this was handed down. It goes all the way back to Bonaventure. Bonaventure did not say that there can never be a Hooded Cobra Commander. Bonaventure said, as long as I'm making movies, there will not be a Hooded Cobra Commander in my movies, and I can't believe that none of you can't see what he looks like. That got into the heads of the powers to be, and those are the people that made the decision and said, you are not doing it, end of story. Corey said for 2 weeks, they searched for any type of blue hooded Ku Klux Klan to try, and Corey said at the end, they said, just stop. You are not doing this figure. This comes from somebody who helped sculpt the figure working with the main designer. When I used to talk to Lenny and I would even bring up Hooded Cobra Commander, he would literally just say, I'm not even discussing that. Wouldn't even talk to me about it. Now, Corey no longer worked there at the time. This is the reason why he was able to tell us. Will Lenny tell us a little bit more? Who knows? We'll find out at Joe Fest. I'm not going to sit here and hound him about fucking Hooded Cobra Commander. But I will ask him a couple things. Now, this story has also been told by, as Viper Scout said, Bobby Valla talked about this because he was working there at the time. I was told before I'd even heard this through Bobby Valla. I had heard it from Mark Weber, who was also working there, that no one could believe that was G.I. Joe fans how stupid it was that the Bonaventure said this. But the biggest issue was that it got up to the higher ups that said, wow, this could be a problem for us. We're not even going to do it. So this is the reason why there's never been Hooded Cobra Commander. Now, I will say this. New management comes in, things change. So before anyone says, whoa, wait a minute. They did Baron Zemo. He had a mask. He literally is a Nazi, right? What about the, snow troopers? They look, you're absolutely correct. But I will reiterate, because I know it's hard for people to understand this. Marvel Legends and Star Wars, or Marvel and Star Wars, they're owned by different entities. Hasbro just makes the figures for them. So when they say, hey, we want the Baron Zemo, they're going to do it. When they say, hey, we want these Indiana Jones figures, we're going to try and make them. When we say we want fucking Tron, they're going to do it. But G.I. Joe is owned by Hasbro, and Hasbro says, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to us to even try and do it. Hell, we saw what happened when they literally killed a stream last year because police officers were there, and there were so many fucking people that were enraged by police officers and a completely different division that isn't even police. They're actual federal division, but they wouldn't even do that fucking stream because they had police officers, because they were scared that the people would make them into ICE agents. There, I said it. So this is how Hasbro works as a corporation. But when it comes to Hooded Cobra Commander, clearly there is a change in management and leadership for whoever the G.I. Joe team answers for. This is why they were finally able to make the Hooded Cobra Commander. If you go back and you watch, and I cannot speak for other people, and I know I've heard people talk about Chad saying this figure will never be done. I don't know if Chad said that. I feel like Chad probably said the exact same thing that I said. They cannot do this figure. It doesn't mean they'll never do it, but they are told at this point they cannot do this figure. I went back and I watched my video and I made sure that I never said that they can never do it. It's their own property. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But they were told they cannot do it. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about waiting till the line was bigger. They want to do this from day one. This is the reason why we're finally getting it. I don't think it has anything to do with that's why they put a crown on it. Maybe that was kind of the original intention. They were going to try and hide it. But I don't think so. Viper Scout says we need an Arctic Hooded Cobra Commander. So there's the reason why. And I wanted to clarify because I already had people, I've seen them, and I have no problem responding. Where's all those people that said we're never going to get it? That is not what, and I can't say all of us, but that is not what the majority of us were saying. We were trying to, and again, this is no inside information. It's not like I have information not everyone else could find. The Bonaventure is in an article. He specifically says, yeah, I'm the reason why we're not getting this. He doesn't have say in it. What he said was heard by management, and management got scared, and that's why they didn't do it. Now you can say, hey, Hasbro's a bunch of pussies, whatever. You can say whatever the fuck you want right there. It doesn't change the fact this is what had happened. Everyone knows that it's an executioner mask. There is no one but one idiot. And I guess there's a few other morons out there too that also thought that it seemed like it was racist. It's not racist. And even if it was racist, the guy's a fucking terrorist. Who cares, right? If who's supposed to be like the most evil, vile man in the fucking world trying to create world domination, if he's fucking racist, who gives a shit? He's a fucking bad man, right? There's not many worse men than fucking racist people, all right? There are some, very few, but you guys get my point here. Shark Guy says, but have you sat in your car wearing a blue hood while ranting? That's the real. No. The answer, that'd be a negative Ghost Rider. I have not sat in my car with a blue hood. So this is where it comes back to the Hooded Cobra Commander, and I just want to, to all the people that said, where are all those people? And I had no problem answering. And there was even someone that made a comment when I put out the links for it. Like he said something like, you said we're never going to get it. And it's like, it's not what I said. Again, you can try and twist my words all you want. I don't delete videos. Right? I don't hide from what I've said. I've told you before, I have no skeletons in my closet. So I have no reason to delete videos, hide. If I make a mistake, I will be the first one to say, yep, I made a mistake, man. No big deal. It's okay to be wrong. It's better to be wrong and admit it than be a fucking pussy and say that we're getting, Dr. Mindbender with the trouble bubble as a Target exclusive, and I have friends that have seen it in the system, and then delete the fucking video because you're a goddamn fucking pussy. I'm just saying, all right? There's one of those guys living on a fucking island up in Canada. Jason Art says, no, Lawrence, they worked around it. That's the point of the crown and the unnecessary throne. It's king. So that may be the reason why they changed. That may be the reason why they changed the name, but it does not change the fact that people can see that it is Hooded Cobra Commander. And I don't fully believe that. Again, everything coming out of it is they have said that was stupid. The thing is, wow, people want this. Let's add to it. We can make more money off it. That's all I'm saying. But no, I don't think the crown is really there to try and hide it. Chaz the Guru says, does this open the door for a Cobra Commander roleplay hood? I still don't think they're going to do that. But maybe Mezco will give us a soft goods fucking Hooded Cobra Commander. My understanding is the gun will never be done again. And that is more understandable. I think the gun is way more understandable on why that will never be done again. But I think that is one of those things where it's like, do we really need to do the gun again? I mean, back in our day, we ran around playing guns. I don't know how many kids still play Army and Cops and Robbers and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to get a Megatron gun. That is one thing that I've heard that they said, yeah, that is not changing. That is not changing. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the people online, and this is the reason why I put this up here. The poll was Hooded Cobra Commander worth the wait? Hell yes. 56% said yes. 20% said not even close. 20% said I already made them, and I only like Masked Cobra Commander 4%. Okay, so let's say hi to Joe Fan 84. They're not Joe Fan. You're Dominic. I can't wait for Arctic Hooded Cobra Commander. Sorry. Joe Fan here, jumping in here. How you doing? All right. So there are a lot of people excited for this. Now, I will reiterate, I will state, I only think that people were so excited for Hooded, or wanting Hooded Cobra Commander so bad was because you couldn't get him. I don't think that he's the most important Cobra Commander. Let's be honest. He should have the mask. He's going into battle. He's not going in with a stupid hood. Do I think they should have been made? Yes. But I think there was more of an uproar that people wanted them because they weren't allowed. Isn't that how it is? People want what they can't have. All right. But they finally got him. And people were excited. And then you get the people that want to stomp on people's happiness. I've already had them for 6 years. Well, good fucking for you. We all could have fucking bought a hood and fucking put it on there. Do you really think that Big Bad Workshop didn't create a figure with a blue hood for that specific reason? It's exactly why they did it. They have a hood with a red stripe and blue on the sides, right? Or black on the side. It matches Supreme Cobra Commander to a T. Do you think that was by mistake? It was not. They did all this for that specific reason, so you could swap it out and you could make it. All right. So they gave you that. You could go on eBay, you could go on Etsy, and you could order any of these. Hell, some people even painted it for you so it was matching the color and you wouldn't have it. But there are people that just wanted the classified one. There are people that I heard people literally say, I'm not buying, like for the Big Bad Workshop one, I'm not buying a knockoff one. Okay, you don't have to. No one fucking told you that you had to buy this, but this was an option for you to do, right? But here there's people, they come in and they have to post their pictures, and say, oh, I already have mine. Great. That's awesome. You're being a dick. Do you want me to point out how stupid your fucking hood looks because the fucking neck is showing because it's too fucking high? Yeah, I can do that if you want me to be a real fucking asshole, and I can nitpick your fucking pictures. And I'm not even talking about me because, again, it didn't really bother me. And you guys all saw my classified Hooded Cobra Commander video, which was, Big Bad Workshop. So there are so many of these people that are so determined to just trample on people's happiness. Remember, this is fun. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be fun. I know a lot of these people, they stopped collecting for fun a long time ago. It's now about the drama, the fighting, who can be a bigger dick. That's great, dude. I can promise you I can probably be a bigger dick than most people. I don't really fucking need that in my fucking life, and nor do I really want to. Now, there's nothing wrong with talking about, hey, yeah, I did my custom and I really like it. There's nothing wrong with talking about what you did or what you created. But the way so many of these people wanted to trample on other people's, and all those people had all the internet went out. I'm frozen. Well, I froze. That was weird. I have no idea why. All those people that were trampling on people's happiness, all those people had to do was say, yeah, well, you know what? I want a non-knockoff. I mean, it's really that simple. Yeah, I don't know why I froze because I didn't see anything. There was nothing. Yes, I'm perfectly fine. Chaz says, Punk, you need to name names so you can box some people at Chill Fest. Why? I don't need a box. I don't give a shit, dude. I just, I look at this stuff and I just, it's just, again, this hobby, any hobby, it's not just this, it's Any hobby is supposed to be for fun. I've said it before. I can remember the last time I lost my fucking cool skateboarding, throwing my board, and I literally put my car, like I put my board in the back of my Dodge Neon, my first brand new car. I sat down and I went, never, ever again. I go, this is supposed to be fun for me. I'm never going to be pro. Why am I losing my mind breaking fucking boards and chipping them and shit because I'm pissed off because I can't do something? I'm just going to put my board in my fucking car, tell everyone, hey, you know what? I'm not having a good day. I'm going to take off. I'll see you guys next day. It's not like I'm going to quit skateboarding. But, you know, again, people want to make things unhappy. I was like, again, this is supposed to be fun. Why are you in a hobby that you're not having fun, especially an expensive one? Dirty Knife says the throne and the packaging are absolutely gorgeous. I held out for the official release, and I'm glad I did. And that's exactly what a lot of people said. Like, I have no issues that I bought the Big Bag Workshop figure and I put that hood on Cobra Commander. I still leave it on there. I like it. I think it looks good. It is a different Cobra Commander look that I have out there now, you know, because I also have, you know, the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander that's up there that has the mask, right? So I can just swap those around. And then I put that other hood. I removed the paint for the little skull or whatever that was on that logo. I put that one on the Supreme Cobra Commander, which I just took a picture with Grenadier Destro. They look awesome together, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you can have both. I know guys like Tony's Figs. He only has one of each figure for the most part in his collection. I am a little different. I have different setups. I don't have a problem having two different gung-hos. I mean, actually, I only have one gung-ho, to be 100% honest, because I repackaged up the first one and he's been retired. But I don't have a problem having multiple Dukes, multiple Flints, Hawks, Cobra Commanders, Destros. Right? I don't have a problem having multiples in my collection because of how I display my stuff. It's all a little bit different. So maybe you created a Hooded Cobra Commander and now, hey, you know what? I have the official one. That's what I want. But rather than being a total dick, and again, I've been a dick before. All right. That's how I was growing up. And I've said people are like, oh, you only picked on people, you only dick to people because it made you feel better. No, it was fun, right? It was just fucking fun. But as I got older and I became an adult, and you go, you know what? I don't need to do that shit anymore. You know, that's not really part of my life. It's not who I want to be going forward, you know, in my life. So trampling on people that are super excited over finally getting an official Hooded Cobra Commander. Why? Like, again, just so you know, you're making yourself look like the ass. I mean, in all honesty. And again, if you're proud of the hood you painted and how it looks, awesome, man. You can be like, dude, I think that's awesome. But you know what? I already have mine and I really love it, but I'm happy for everyone else. That's really what it's supposed to be about. I talk about all these toys. I go through all the new releases and I make fun of them. But hey, if they're going to make you happy, then awesome. Enjoy the jokes that we're fucking making about it. But I've said it before. I'll tell people soccer sucks. And I've had people say, what if I told you skateboarding sucks? I go, okay. Doesn't change how I feel about it. What if I tell you punk rock sucks? All right, cool. You don't like it. It doesn't change how I feel about it. So don't try and trample on other people's fucking happiness because, you know, your fucking manhood is so fucking small that you need to fucking show, hey, look at what I got here. I already have mine and I've been happy. Well, good. Be happy with yours. Stay happy with it and let other people be happy with what they're going to get and what the G.I. Joe team finally was able to give to them. Because no matter what you think, all the people that go, oh, I already have a throne too. Listen, we all have that fucking throne 3D printed. I do too. I print it up. It's one of the easiest things that you can fucking print. And it's actually pretty cool, to be 100% honest. But guess what? It's not as cool as the one they're giving you. Now, don't get me wrong. There'll be somebody that has a fucking throne that says, oh, look, I got this throne, and be like, awesome. That's cool. You've got another throne that you probably paid $200 for that was 3D printed. This thing is 70 with the figure. Chaz the Guru says, we are on the wrong side of 50, so we stop being dicks to get some heaven points. Oh, wait a minute. You're still trying to get, yeah. No, like myself, Ed, like we've listen, we got first class tickets. We're all going to hell. Maybe you'll get to wave to us, Chaz. So Tony says, I have Colonel Hawk and General Hawk, OG Snake Eyes, and version 2. I had a feeling you were going to say that. But no, again, it was just the moment it came out, this is what I saw, and people were excited for it. And again, I've been saying for quite some time, people really, really wanted this only because they couldn't get it. Now, I'm not saying people didn't want it, but the only reason why people were super, super mad about getting it was because they couldn't have it. Now that they have it, you already see people going, ooh, man, I canceled it for $70. So you really didn't want it that bad, right? Like, I want it to a point, right? And again, I don't think $70 in what we do, right? $70, again, if you're just a regular G.I. Joe collector, and that's what a lot of collectors are, they're not toy collectors, and nothing wrong with that. They see $70 for a figure, and they're like, whoa. Guys like me, Ed, Matthew, we see $70 for a figure, and we go, is the value there? I mean, I spent $130, $140 on a figure without even thinking about it. That's Snake Eyes, Mezco Snake Eyes. Boom, I want it. $130, I think, $140. Well worth it to me. May not be worth it to you, but we also understand $70, $100 for an action figure. If it has the value that you feel it's worth it, then that's what it's worth. War Chest Full of Toys jumping in saying, I really dig Hooded Cobra Commander, but I also did like you and got one from Big Bad. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, I order from multiple places, so I have it. Because first come, first serve. That's when you're doing reviews and you're in the review game, this is kind of the stuff that you do, right? You order from multiple places, and hopefully I don't get stuck with multiples. Hopefully the first place that I get it is Entertainment Earth, because that one was $52 and it was the cheapest. And so like Tim Brower right here, to me the value is there, and that's exactly it. It's all in your mind is if the value is there. But again, I will say it, like, you cannot complain, and I'm not saying you in general, you can't complain and bitch and whine that you're not getting Hooded Cobra Commander and not think that when they finally do it and they finally allow this, that they're not going to say, how can we make this more expensive so we can make more money off of it? Carlos says, if I cared about what other people think, I'd send a Hooded Cobra Commander to Lorenzo de Bonaventure, but I don't, so I won't. I wouldn't waste it. Now, see, that is throwing $70 away right there. That is throwing. I would rather send it to Lorenzo Lamas. Yes. Do you guys remember Lorenzo Lamas? And Alex Martinez says, "Yep, same here on Mezco figure." Now, I know they don't seem to be doing GI Joe. If the edict has been lifted, how cool would a Mezco hooded Cobra Commander be? Because you know that hood would be soft goods. That, my friends, would be awesome. We have Thousand Wolves jumping in here saying, anyone think we will get a retro hooded Cobra Commander? I don't think for a while. And the reason why I say that is they're putting so much into this. They're putting so much into this that it's going to take time, in my opinion. They don't want you going to the other one. They're going to want you purchasing this one because they made sure that it is at all these fan channels. So the one thing that they did was they did it solid for the fan channels and for the independent toy stores. They're the ones that are going to be able to sell it. Not Amazon, not Target, not Walmart. You want this, you have to walk in to Sergeant Red's and get it. Or go to Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy, which they're all sold out now, right? Those places are all sold out. Now, will there be cancellations? Yes. Will they have more? Yes. Understand there is a difference between, why a pre-order sells out. Because hey, we're ordering so many, but we want to have some when it shows up. So the Model Misfit says, I love it. I definitely pre-ordered from Canada too. If you're talking about the CMD store, that place is fucking expensive. The problem with CMD store right now, and I haven't ordered there from a while, in a while, is that they're charging you what the Canadian price is, except for it's not translating. It's not translating on the credit card. So if it's $150 for something and it's normally $110, you're getting charged $150 US dollars. Where if you go over to Canada and it's $150, your dollar is worth $1.35. That's the thing that Tatsi says Punk hates soccer. Yes. It makes sense why he don't like soccer mom vehicles either. Very true. Stufalin says, Punks, if you didn't have a channel that you worked your ass off to become able to buy a lot of your toys, would you still buy as much or maybe just okay? So I've talked about this before. The reason why I'm able to buy as much as I do is because the channel pays for everything for the most part. This year it's been a little slow, so I've had to actually dip into my own personal, but it's under the belief at the way that it's working that these slow months right now will be offset with the heavier months of stuff that we're going to get. So the answer is no. I would not buy nearly as much. I would probably be GI Joe. If I wasn't doing so much with YouTube here, and it wasn't, again, I'm one of the lucky ones. I will wholeheartedly admit that I'm one of the lucky ones that I've been able to make this into profitable enough to support this habit. I would probably just be collecting GI Joe, not doing YouTube, and maybe trying to skateboard more. But again, at 50 years old, your body is like, eh. What are you doing? So the answer is no. I am not that financially wealthy. Contrary to what people think, I also don't get free stuff. Yes, I got the Delta 17 stuff because that is something that has been in the works for the past 3 years working with them. That's a little bit different, but I don't get free stuff where people think so. I could not afford everything that I purchase there is a reason why I review almost everything. Is because if it makes $5, it makes $5 off of that. And it's already sitting there, and my style is actually fairly simple to do. Just takes a little bit of time to create that. So that's your answer. I made it longer. Matt O'Brien says, speaking of Mezco, why do you think they stopped putting G.I. Joe figures? They're all such bangers. Even Duke. Duke is actually much better in person. I have no idea. I don't know if their license, if their licensee ran out, if they just didn't think that it did well enough. I have no idea. But it is very disappointing because I think there's so much more that we could get from them, and some of the stuff is really, really good. What just says, you crack me up, though I agree we need Hooded Cobra Commander, but wait, maybe not at that price when you didn't want it that bad. Again, right? Like, I need this. Whoa, I didn't need it at that price, though. Listen. I mean, they both suck. All right? They're both awful. But anyway, there you go. Model Misfit says, Punk, where did you get the Oh, that was that was at Walgreens at Christmas a couple years ago, and I should have bought all of them, and I did not. It had like little candy in it. It was at Walgreens, but it's not Walgreens. I don't think it's Walgreens. Yeah, it's just I don't think it's just a little Christmas thing, but it works great because it can be knocked over. It can be pushed. It fits perfect with the with the 1/12 scale, so it's perfect. Metal Brand says Mezco, Zartan, Baroness, Tomax, Zaymont, and soft good suits. No, I don't need twin pack. I do not need a twin pack of that price. This is where I go, whoa, I don't need it that bad. All right, I'm out of here. I will be on with the Circle of Jerks tomorrow. I believe we have a special guest. I was told that, but I'm not going to confirm anything until I know for sure. So I will let Baldy completely handle all of that. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is where you can find us. We will be doing Goodwill missions at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday to talk about all the G.I. Joe reveals. We can talk about who got their pre-orders in, who didn't get our pre-orders in, who might be going to Canada to buy it if that's what we have to do. And then this Thursday, only 2 episodes of the Drive the Joe Fest are left. This week, I have the Backyard Battlefield, 3-star draw, Pop Blender, and Crusty Old Crow. I'm out of here. Have a wonderful night, guys, and I will see you guys all tomorrow over on the Circle of Jerks on Baldy Locks Reviews channel. Take care.